Hello and welcome back to another episode of SDS. We're back with a special midweek PL roundup. This is where all 10 teams have participated in the last few days. There's been some big games, big results, and with that, we've got some big guests on the table today. But let me start with my co-host. We've got Leah's next to me.
Yes, sir. It's a good day.
Yeah, man. I haven't seen you in the co-host chair for a while, to be fair.
You're lying, because I was on there a few weeks ago.
Were you?
Yeah.
Don't joke on that one.
I would say normally less clap, but we got,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
one hand man over here.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Is that what we're doing?
No, we're all about inclusion and I was
wondering where you were going with that.
We don't discriminate. Yeah. But opposite us, we've got Fuad Kadani, fresh from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Fantastic.
He looks like he's in a good mood. Hope he's in a good mood.
Yeah, something like that.
And then next to us, we got Rose Lorinity.
Hey, welcome back, baby.
Why is everyone clapping? No one can't clap.
It's a rare occurrence. We don't see you all the time.
Hey, listen, you got dislocated shoulder,
like
you're playing on Play-Doh, man. This is a great day for you, I'll be honest.
Yeah, this is rehab right now.
I like that, man.
real
I like
right
that. That's what a lot of people say. A lot of girls have tuned in now that you're on the table.
Female viewership.
That's what I'm here for. Female demographic.
That's what I'm here for.
Hey, Levan, you lost your role, man.
Nah, they saw the bruises, they couldn't be asked.
The tattoo.
Yeah, they saw the tattoo, they couldn't be asked. But listen, let's get into this PR roundup. It's going to be a long PR roundup, but it's going to be an official one as well. Let's start with the biggest game of the week. Man United versus Chelsea. Man United with a 2-1 win at Old Trafford.
Say that one more time.
A 2-1 win at Old Trafford.
I like that shit.
You like that? Back to winning ways for you guys after the Newcastle loss last week. Listen, 2 goals from Scott McTominay. Where did you watch this game?
I watched it with my good dear friend Fuad Kadani over at different podcast. We won't cross. No, we did have an FCM podcast. Yeah. We'll promote FCM. Come on.
Shout out FCM, man.
Yeah. We watched that together. We did a watch along for that. Wow.
Oh, wow. Do you know, I'll be honest, I haven't seen it.
Let me say this. I'm smiling. I'm smiling after the United game because
that's a lot.
People are talking about results and like, oh, they're back on winning. United have won games this year. In fact, at one point, they were the form team in the league.
Yeah.
And you guys know me. I wasn't happy. I feel like I'm very consistent with United. And there's one thing I consistently demand from this team. And that's performances, bro. And even, I'm not asking them to play like Manchester City. I'm not asking them to play like Arsenal. I understand where we are in the process, if you want to call it that. We're not those teams yet. But I almost have like a base standard for when I watch my team play what I expect. And this year, they have failed to meet that expectation.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have been upset about the way I've talked about this team. But I think I've been pretty fair in what I've said. Like, we've had results against Fulham or Sheffield United or Brentford. We've won, but bro, the performances have been poor.
Yeah.
This is the first time, I don't mean to exaggerate this whatsoever, I truly believe it's the first time I come out of a Man United game in the Premier League this season and think to myself, yeah, we were the better team. We played better than the opposition, and in my opinion, a lot better. This was, for all intents and purposes, a battering. United were, in my opinion, much better than Chelsea for large portions of this game. They controlled the tempo of the game. They pressed Chelsea in their own half extremely well, especially in the first half. They created chances. There were a few individual mistakes that I think, look, Chelsea had the better of them on the break. But when I look at Erik ten Hag, right, he can't control everything. I'll never say, oh, everything is Erik ten Hag's fault. The system that he put out and the game plan that he put out, in my opinion, worked. Now, there's going to be mistakes when you have guys like Victor Lindelof in the back, and I thought he did a really good job of taking him out of the firing line at halftime. I thought it was a great substitution because he was looking shaky.
Yeah.
But in terms of what Erik ten Hag can control, I thought he outclassed Pochettino.
Do you think that's his game plan? He tries to go in with every game, but then the players just don't execute.
I don't think so. Or if that's the case, then like major questions have to be asked. That why is it today, out of all days this season, has it happened? Because I think sometimes even the press is disjointed. Like you look at the game against Newcastle, for example, the way they were pressing. Like, do they want to press from the front? Do they want to sit off? It's almost like they're caught in two minds. In fact, all season I've been saying United are like a team stuck in between two philosophies. Like, what do you want your football team to look like? And all throughout the season, I've been asking that as a United fan. This was the first time this year, because last year I gave him his credit. This is the first time this year I looked at the team. I'm like, okay, I get what we're trying to do today. Press from the front, win the ball high up, play with intensity, play everything 1-2 touch. I want to single out one guy in particular, Sofiane Amrabat, ran the show today. Ran the show. And I've been somebody that the last few games, I've been very critical of him because I'm looking at him. Is this the quality of a United midfielder? He was playing up against a over 200 million pound midfield. Moises Caicedo and Enzo. We're going to talk about both of them. He outclassed both of them, bro. Amrabat was much better than both of them. So, look, in terms of... I can't complain about United today, man. I'm very happy with the performance. I'm very happy with the majority of the players, and I'm very happy with the manager. More of the same.
Yeah, I was going to say, there is still some concern, because I think Scott McTominay is still scoring your 2 goals. I think he's just further showing for me that he needs to be put further forward. This guy, it's no longer a purple patch. The guy's top scorer in the Euro competition. stop the double pivot, stop the DM, centre mid thing, bro. The guy's a second striker. You know how you almost used to use Fellaini if you want to use impact off the bench.
It's true.
Bro, use him like that because he's just a physical batter ram. And I think that almost game plan of the high press, bro, Chelsea just kept getting themselves into mistake after mistake. Sanchez, every centre-back had one error or another. And you just thought, bro, what is going on? But with United, I would say McTominay still got you out of jail because Højlund, what is it now, 11 games, still no goals. And I think Cam's even said it on stream when we was on, bro, he's too involved in the physical battles, it almost seems like, where sometimes you just want to tell him, listen, just be a fox in the box almost. Because there was times I feel like United were trying to get balls in the box, but he's just jousting.
Højlund seems to be always like a half second away. Like
there was one flash across the box.
He wasn't even
near. For example, a guy like Erling Haaland is probably like just but those half seconds are the margins, especially at that level. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. But at the same time,
that forward line is still a concern. And I think as long as that doesn't click into gear, Ten Hag's system will always look out of place. Earlier on, you were struggling with Rashford for so long. I think Bruno as well was another mention as well. I felt that was his... Almost like Bruno, like last year.
I agree.
A lot more calmer, a lot more kind of leadership, and especially putting that performance on after missing the penalty.
Yeah, a lot of players, they lose their heads.
His head could normally go, and it's like petulant Bruno comes out, and he just went, you know what? Let me put in a captain's performance today. And I think him and Amrabat kind of, that midfield tried, and I was like, you lot actually won that game. And I was saying before the stream, that's where Chelsea, for me, should be dominating, bro. That's where you've spent the big money. Enzo should be looking at McTominay and going, I'm going to boss you today. Caicedo should be looking at Amrabat and going, we're going dog for dog today. Bruno, and then it's, bro, you absolutely let United run the show, and they're meant to be like a team that's still finding their feet. These guys, you don't know what you're going to get, but you look at United now as 4 wins in the last 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Like that, 5 in the last 6,
And imagine now the goals do start trickling in, and this is why I said earlier on in the season, like, people shouldn't put too much criticism on Ten Hag. And I understand the style of play was the main thing you were kind of emphasizing on. But I still felt like there was so much going on at the club. When things do start clicking into place, you will start seeing his plan come into. And I felt like this game, similar like the League Cup game, do you remember against Crystal Palace?
Yeah, it was good.
That was similar where I was like, this is what I think Ten Hag is actually trying to implement. But these guys just don't execute it 9 times out of 10.
I hear you. And I don't disagree with most of what you said. First of all, on the attacking side, because I know Højlund is really the main talking point. Again, I'm still not really concerned about Højlund because I still think, in terms of like the way he's playing, I still think he's giving us some nice touches. He's holding it up well. Yeah. I looked at, like, we missed a lot of, bro, we missed the penalty. That game could have been, like, I already think United should have battered them. That game could have genuinely been a battering of Bruno scored.
Just to add what you said, Man United had an XG of 4.17 and Chelsea had an XG of 1.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, when I look again about performances, bro, 100%. So whenever I talk about, like, Liban, for example, after the game was talking about, stay on that side or whatever. In my opinion, this actually proves my point, right? United is, because whenever I complain about performances, Liban is always saying, there's extenuating factors, like the board and the owners and the roof of the stadium is leaking, so that's why we can't string 5 passes together. This just shows, for example, that, look, I'm not expecting to play like City, but to put in a coherent performance for 90 minutes is possible, bro. This group of players, the same players, okay, bar maybe Lissandro and Casemiro, that still gave you some good performances last season. Look, Garnacho is another one, right? This was the big one, because the main talking point before the game, Rashford, does he start, does he not start? I thought Ten Hag made the right decision in leaving Rashford out of the lineup. And Garnacho took massive responsibility. He looked at Cucurella first half and said,
barbecue chicken. Barbecue chicken.
Run me that.
Chicken.
Left foot playing right back. Run me that. Reece James came on in the second half.
Cooked.
I was starting to think, okay, hold on, Reece James might be a problem.
Half it.
Give me that shit too. Give me that shit too.
True.
Garnacho took on responsibility. And that's what I've always said about Garnacho, right? The question is, how much of an elite level talent is he? That for me is a little questionable. I think he's a good player. But like, is he like, I don't know, Mbappe, for example? No. But the thing about Garnacho, bro.
Confidence.
Bro, the guy's got balls of steel,
but
man.
Is that not a lot of what we say sport is the mentality side?
Absolutely. And he has the mentality side down, bro.
He's almost one of those, the way he backs himself. And I feel like over the last couple of weeks, having that big goal against Everton, starting that Galatasaray, all right, you didn't win in the end, but
scored,
it felt like, I'm going to drive this
team.
He
scored and he shushed the crowd in the Galatasaray.
You step in for almost like the homegrown kid.
No, he is fearless, honestly. Garnacho is not afraid of the moment whatsoever.
Listen,
no matter what happened, that's what he got from young players.
And I was saying on the stream as well, like, is this going to be the season where he really cements that spot, starts putting in kind of a few performances where, okay, you really do have some ability type of thing. And I think the mentality is going to get you through a lot of that. So
100%. I look at Pelestri on the other side, for example. You look at the kid; he looks scared shitless to play for United. You look at him and you think, do you even believe you should be here?
Yeah.
I look at Garnacho. I have no he believes in himself, bro. Like he is not afraid of the moment whatsoever. And I always say, like at that age, that'll take you to places, bro. So look, I think he took the assignment exceptionally well. Could have scored, had the assist for McTominay. I think everybody again, Bart Lindelof, and that's another one, right? But
big up Harry Maguire.
Region came on. Harry
that's a good
Maguire.
one.
That
That's
second half from Harry Maguire is one of the best
stepped up a lot for you
performances
recently.
you'll see, bro.
That's what I like recently when he's filled out the cancers and all that, the Sanchez and all that. But he stuck back to the old guns. Maguire, they've really stepped up for your club, and I like that.
Was he got player of the month now?
Yeah. Ten Hag for me, right? One thing I've always said I like about him, and Maguire is the perfect epitome of that, is that I think he's fair. I mean, people will talk about Sancho. Should he have been playing more over Anthony? That's another subject. But I think Ten Hag has shown that there is always a room back into your team and back into his team if you're willing to put in the work and if you're willing to put in performances. Even Ronaldo, right before he left, Ronaldo had that whole strop against Spurs. He started him 2 games later and gave him the armband. Like he's always been willing to let you back into the team. Wan-Bissaka is the perfect example. So Maguire, I give him full credit.
McTominay.
Yeah, McTominay as well too. McTominay and Maguire were supposed to be out the door this summer. They are now probably 2 of the first names on his team sheet.
Yeah.
So Ten Hag has always shown that there is a way back in the team. If Rashford suddenly starts picking up form, he'll be back in the team. That's one thing I've always liked about Ten Hag. And you see reports now about players are complaining about the fitness or like the training regimes. He still sticks his guns. I'll never criticize Ten Hag on that side of
So in
things.
terms of your forward line now, is that the forward line that has to go forward now? Rashford and Martial off the bench.
You can never discredit Rashford though, man.
Wow,
You
the way-
always.
yeah.
This is the thing. It might be a consistent thing, but every season we see him go through a bad start early in the season. Usually, second half of the season, that's where he picks up and finds himself. So you can never count him out. There's times, especially Rashford, he's the guy you need to produce the magical moments like he did last year. So to just kick him out of the team, I don't know.
But the thing, I feel like right now, at the
It's
moment,
fair.
it's the
It's
right
fair,
time to
yes.
drop him for sure. I think he almost has to earn that place back in. And if Garnacho obviously drops a couple of stinkers or
there we
whatever,
go. You
then you
rotate
can
him back
kind of
into the
rotate
squad.
him back in. But that, for me, was the right decision to make. And it was proven by Garnacho's performance as well. So now it's kind of like, Rashford, you actually have to earn that shirt back. And if it's through the 9 where maybe Højlund gets a little rest and the pressure gets taken off him because at some point it's like, 12, 13 games without a goal. Champions League's nice, but we need some in the league, bro.
Definitely.
Especially, we're approaching December now, so
Christmas
Christmas period
period
is coming up. So
difficult.
games come thick and fast. So it's gonna fall for Højlund, I think, eventually. But that front line, I really think in terms of goals, how
lacking.
sustainable is it now going to be? Because you've won 4 out of the last 5. I think you've got Bournemouth next. You've got Liverpool after that. West Ham coming
games,
up. So we know
yeah.
what they did today. We'll touch on that in a bit. But for me, I just kind of question long term. And January is going to be important for you lot.
I think we need
I'm
another
really
striker, to
curious
be
on
honest
what
with
you
you.
lot do in January.
I don't think we're going to do anything, especially mid takeover. I just don't see it. I think even Ten Hag came out.
Is that not a chance for Ratcliffe to be like, let me try to get in the door?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. But I mean, Ten Hag even came out and he said, I don't expect us to, which I think every manager says that, right? We don't expect to do business in January. But I can't see it happening unless it's maybe a loan deal like a Sabitzer last season.
Yeah.
Like, I would love a Taremi, for example, to come in and just
What's his name
deputize.
that hasn't been registered in Saudi? Jota?
Jota, more like a forward. Yeah, I would like another body up front attack, to be honest. I think we're late there. But yeah, on the subject of Rashford, right? Like, okay, when he's on it, there's no doubt that Rashford is our biggest goal threat. But I said it against Newcastle, right? When Rashford is playing the way he is right now, it's like you're playing with 10 men, honestly. His head seems like completely out of it. So I'd leave him on the bench until like you see a noticeable improvement. Yeah, 100%. He's a form player. If he's not in form, there's no point in having him on the pitch.
Back to McTominay though. Did you celebrate those 2 goals? Quite
I
well?
celebrate United goals, no matter who scores.
Yeah,
I'm
but
McTominay.
McTominay. I was asking about that one.
He was like, yo, McTominay needs
Because
to get out. He's always
I have a tweet from you
Go on,
here.
let me see.
It said it's legitimately nonsensical to anyone who doesn't understand what they're watching. McTominay's performances are generally awful.
Yeah, I think they
moving
are.
like he's some misunderstood final third goal threat. A couple goals have completely fooled you into thinking that suddenly his only responsibility on the pitch. The guy is nowhere near it at this level.
I
still stick by
I
it?
100% stick by it. Now, look, I'm going to support every United goal, bro. You guys know how I feel about Anthony. If he bends it in the top corner, I'm celebrating it because I don't support players. I support the club. 100%. That's out the door. Now, McTominay is polarizing. And look, I don't like McTominay. Honestly, I'll be straight up. Like, that kind of player just isn't for me. And I think United going forward, like, you're going to have to move on from a guy like that. Like you're saying, relying on Scott McTominay to basically touch the ball 20 times a game and then score, it's not sustainable in my opinion. Fair play. In this current moment, we need that, but it frustrates me, man. I would rather have another midfielder in there that can help control games like we were doing, and then our forward line, please score. But fair play to him. I can't take it away from him, but I stand by what I said.
But as much as United was good, let's go to the Chelsea side. And how bad they did. You're right. Back to your point, as you said, the build-up play. Sanchez couldn't build up half play.
They couldn't string 4 passes together.
You got a centre-back playing left-back that can't help Mudryk out. Mudryk's best player.
And this was the Colwill at left-back, Cucurella at right-back, Disasi floating somewhere in the middle, Thiago Silva on an island.
Palmer at 10.
It's Cole Palmer in the 10. It was like, I don't know. It was just a weird, and some games it's worked for them, but it was almost like too many experiments, and the worst case scenario happened in all of them. And it's the basics for me. I just felt like they didn't get right, Chelsea. And at the end of the day, United's press was good, but when you're 15, 10-yard passes, you're getting those wrong. Bro, it's only going to go one way. And Chelsea had some chances that they created, but it was kind of like off of United mistakes. Yep. It wasn't anything the midfield genuinely built up. The wide players were Sterling and Mudryk, no threat whatsoever. Nico Jackson had a few link-up moments where he nicked the ball or whatever, but
you can't talk about that guy.
And Cole Palmer, listen,
fair play,
nice goal, cute goal, but he lost the ball about 5-6 times before that, and which kind of led to a lot of those kind of United chances. Second half, he improved, but I feel like the players let themselves down. The tactical plan was a mess, and then United on the day just kind of turned up and said, you know what?
It's a big game, man.
We're going to show you what today's about.
So what makes it more difficult for Chelsea? They got Everton away next, and we just saw Everton today smash Newcastle 3.
You know,
Sean Dyche, man.
We'll talk about Everton in a bit, but I don't think we need, like, I see a lot of people who watch this show. First of all, no one likes to hear their club get like dissed. United fans, they don't like when I talk about United poorly. Liverpool fans, they don't like when Liban talks about Liverpool poorly. Chelsea fans in particular don't like when Sean or when I or anyone talks poorly about their club. But guys, I think you need a reality check, to be honest with you, right? First of all, on this podcast, we're always, bar Liverpool, which I think like sometimes we're a little too harsh on, or a little too harsh on them, but in general, we're going to speak about your club correctly. We're going to speak about your club honestly. I'm not a Chelsea fan. I don't have any bias towards them. I'm going to speak about what I see. You guys are in 10th place. In 2023, you are one of the worst teams in the league. Right. Stop begging this podcast to bread all of your favorite players. It's getting annoying now, bro. Yeah. Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo deserve to be held accountable. Right. These performances are not up to the standard of £100 million players. Fact. I cannot believe people come out of these podcasts and say, how can they talk about Enzo like that? How can they talk about Caicedo like that? I like Enzo. I was a fan of the signing. Bro, he's been mid, bro.
I was going to say, you was like one of the biggest. Like, when that signing happened, I remember being like, I hear it, but it's going to be a potential 2 years. But he was like, I think they could work now. It could be something that cooks. They've got Enzo's got the kind of the World Cup streak kind of second half of the season. All right, but a new season, how's he going to look? Caicedo, he's had that year in the Premier League. Even me, I thought, listen, they're going to perform a lot better. But Caicedo, I just feel like there have been games where you feel like, okay, he's actually getting better. Enzo is the one that's really concerning for me because I'm like, last year they were trying to play you in the 6th role. You're clearly not that. This season they've given you the kind of, all right, you're an 8. Because let's not forget the first couple of games, they were trying him as the most advanced of the midfield. Gallagher can do the dog work. That wasn't working as well. So I'm kind of, is he going to become almost the new Solvin Pogba? And the difference was with Pogba, at least you had the kind of technique and the flair and a few assistant goals here he might chuck in.
What was a better player than Enzo? Much better. Much better. Yeah.
But
Chelsea fans are still trying to figure out what Enzo is best at.
How long do you kind of give that? Because I'll be honest with you, Gallagher for me, as soon as he comes back, he's straight back into the
My question is, when Lavia comes back, what does the midfield look like? Because if anyone's trying to tell me Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo is the way forward,
I don't think so.
Is anyone moved by that?
Where's the creativity in that one?
There's no creativity in that, bro. That midfield's not moving me whatsoever.
So the question for me becomes, what is Enzo's best role? That's the question I would ask any Chelsea fan. If they can tell me what that is, I would love to see.
Do you think they signed him with a role in mind, or do you think they signed him because he had a great World Cup?
I think they just signed him.
I think that's one of the biggest.
Signed him because of profile.
I would ask that about every single player they've signed, to be honest with you. Is there an overarching plan about when all these players are fit, do they fit into the 11 correctly?
I don't think they even have a best 11.
People are telling me also when Nkunku comes back, what does this team look like when everyone is healthy? Does anybody know Chelsea's best 11 when everyone's healthy? No. And do we actually think it all gels together? Okay, we have to see it, but I'm not convinced, bro.
Bro, this is... we play a bit of FM.
Facts.
When all these signings are happening, I was like, yo, that's that wonder kid. I know that wonder kid. Yo, Chelsea in 2 or 3 years, cooking. They're going to be cooking. And they might be. But the problem is, now till then, what do you have? And that's where I think it's a kind of damning indictment on their recruitment in terms of like the experience, the balance of this team, how much you've covered varying positions, if you like. But it's not looking good right now, is what I'll say, because a lot of these youngsters don't look ready. Mudryk, it seems like the expectations on him have completely iced. True. Because he started yesterday.
He didn't look.
Nobody even batted an eyelid of Mudrik's just playing a meaty game. It's like, okay, cool. Sterling, we've just accepted that he's not the Sterling he was at City. He's now in his pension. I'm like, bro, who are meant to be the middle guys that get you to the point of the promised land could come, but you have to actually make progress to that point. And I think that's the thing where with kind of Ange, we've seen him come in, all right, we've seen a bit of better football or whatever, but Pochettino, I feel like under the next few months is going to be under real pressure. Chelsea don't even give patience, if that makes sense. Like, the board are not going to be held accountable for any of these signings
At all.
It's just going to be Poch.
The last transfer is
How do you fit these square pegs into
and
these
here's the
round
thing, I
holes,
don't
man?
think Pochettino is the guy for this team, honestly. Like, first of all, I'm not a Pochettino fan. I wasn't a Pochettino fan. You can find the receipts. I wasn't a Pochettino fan 4 years ago, 2 years ago, yesterday, today, tomorrow. I've never been a Pochettino fan like that. And I look at this team, and I look at the way he coaches modern day football. I feel like when Chelsea, you look at Chelsea's best games this season, right? Arsenal, City, Spurs. When Chelsea are playing like fast, kind of like off the cuff football is when they're at their best. And I think that's always been Pochettino. I think at Spurs, that was when he was playing his best kind of football. I think even at PSG, the reason why he couldn't do that was the team was a bit slower. And like he wanted like fast players. I think it's the same thing at Chelsea. But when it comes down to Chelsea actually like sitting down and controlling a game and like dictating the play from there, like not reacting to how another team is playing and then playing like that, but actually like dictating how a game should go. So when you see Amrabat and Bruno and McTominay in the midfield, you should dictate the game. I think Pochettino struggles at coaching that kind of football, bro. And I think the way this team is built with Lavia, Caicedo, and Enzo, that's a team that, okay, if you're going to do something, you're going to need control in midfield, and you're going to have 3 killers up front. I don't know if Pochettino is the guy to coach that kind of football, bro.
Three killers at all.
And I know you like Pochettino.
I still think it's too early to kind of put the pressure on Pochettino, but I think it's the situation of Chelsea, knowing how they don't give patience to anybody. I mean, you look at Nico Jackson, he's not being given any patience. Compare that to kind of Darwin Núñez situation at Liverpool. Liverpool fans are like, yeah, do whatever you like.
When you're winning, you have patience, bro.
It's easy to solve them.
But who around him is going to help pick up the slack?
Last season, you had a good point about Gabriel Jesus, where we were top of the league, but his goals weren't showing, and you're like, it's not a problem.
No one cares. It's not a problem until it is. Yeah, facts. If Chelsea were winning, no one would give a shit about Mudryk right now, bro. Or, for example, Enzo. They'd be, okay, he's getting better. When you're losing, all of a sudden the attention is on there. But Chelsea, for me, look, I feel like there's copium in that fan base because like everyone wants to buy around the project. They want to buy around the young players. But bro, we all know what we're watching right now. But okay, we get gassed by a performance against City. The next week you guys are getting smashed by Newcastle.
Yes.
And this is coming from someone who's critical of my own team. So don't say, focus on your own. I focus on my own team. Chelsea right now, bro, I ain't moved. I ain't moved whatsoever.
The thing is, you look at their next 6 fixtures, if you like. They've got Everton away, Sheffield at home, Newcastle at home, Wolves, Newcastle's in the League Cup, by the way. Wolves, Palace, and Luton.
All winnable games.
Yeah, but they've struggled against the smaller teams.
This is what I'm saying. The next kind of
games.
Christmas period, I think, is going to be really important for
games.
Chelsea because the last thing you want is almost the repeat cycle of last year, where it's Potter kind of got that initial grace period, but then second half of the season, it really started to turn ugly.
Yes.
And now it's like, Pochettino, okay, you've had your initial grace period. We've seen kind of performances. Okay, the guys aren't scoring. You could use that excuse. Yesterday's performance, I think, was on the manager and it was on the players as well.
Like,
Like,
But I think a lot on the players though, because when you look at Chelsea, there's no core. Like, if you look at their core starting team, they got that Thiago Silva.
He's cooked, but
he's done.
He's done.
But that's where the recruitment, I feel like you went wrong. You almost went too young.
You went
too
too
quick.
potential.
Like, you have to have a core group of guys who can immediately come in and have that kind of personality. I'll be honest with you, someone like a Szoboszlai is a big personality. Looks like he could come into a dressing room straight away. Liverpool, he looks like one of the main guys, if you like. Chelsea should have signed 4 or 5 of those kind of ready-made right now. We don't need potential. But
Do you think in January they're going to go for that?
I'm sure they will. That's the thing.
They need to as well.
But now every signing is going to be looked at that skepticism. Now every signing is going to have that double pressure of you must cover the job of that he failed, the other 100 mil winger.
The price tag as well is going to be heavy on these lot.
100%.
Nico Jackson, as a striker, that price tag is killing him.
I think the number 9 will be the biggest.
I don't even know if Nico Jackson went for that much, to be honest with you. He wasn't that much, bro. Like,
What they expect from him, what would they expect from him up front, he is not clinical enough.
I feel bad for one person though. Nkunku's coming back and everyone's expecting him to save the day.
Again, that's another one. People think Nkunku now is suddenly some hybrid 10 or whatever. Like, people haven't watched Nkunku play. Great player, but just put him at the tip behind in front of Enzo and what? Have you watched the guy play?
They just got a lot of pieces that you don't know where to fit them in and where your best position, and I don't think it's going to work out for them at all.
Yeah. Well, listen, Man United got the win against Chelsea. Like I said, your next game is got Bournemouth at home.
I'm looking past. There's another thing, right? I'm happy right now, but I'm demanding. You guys know that. please, against Liverpool and
carry on
Bayern,
this
those
form.
those are the tests for
This
me.
is what I like about United. One game you be amazing, next game you revert back to your old self and you start.
100%. Bournemouth has to be
Lackluster.
another performance. How many times have I said I need performances from United? Bournemouth has to be a performance. We'll talk about them a little later on. And then Liverpool and Bayern, like those are the games
Those
where
are
I'm
big tests
looking
for
at.
you.
I'm
Especially the
nervous,
Bayern, it's a
bro.
must win, no?
Liverpool, I still get PTSD, bro. I wake up in cold sweats about Fwizzy saying, "Did you get?" I get, bro. Wake up in nightmares, bro.
Just know I'm gonna tweet that as soon as you get knocked out of the Champions League. I'm gonna tweet that. What is it?
Who lost?
Was it Armenia, Azerbaijan,
Belarus.
Tweet that one.
You said you're joining us.
You are getting cooked that
I know, bro. It's bad. No, we might not even make Europa League, bro. We might not even be playing Azerbaijan, bro. We're
But that
going
might be a good
straight going back to Heathrow, bro.
That's a good thing for you guys, man.
Huh?
Let's focus.
It's a good thing for me, bro. I'm not trying to watch Europa League, bro.
But listen,
Sharky's gonna give me that call for a Europa League watch along. I'm busy that day, bro. I can't lie.
no, we need you. That
We ain't
day.
been doing that
well,
one, man.
But Man United are 3 points off Man City, man. Back in
Crazy,
the
is
top
nuts.
four.
Do you know when you think about that?
The league is nuts.
Tied with Spurs.
Ahead of Newcastle,
3 points ahead of Newcastle.
Ahead of Brighton.
United
Yeah.
are in
3
crisis
behind
though.
City.
But do you know when you think about that? It's crazy to think
It's weird.
City's not having a bad start, but United's had a poor start and they're only 3 points apart.
Newcastle as well.
It's crazy. to me.
I think we've conceded as many goals as City. I think that's the stat.
that's-
That's
you lot
nuts,
think-
bro.
And listen, talking about City, let's go to Villa Park next. So Unai Emery has finally beaten Pep Guardiola after the 14th attempt.
Good evening.
Good evening. Listen,
Deserved it,
but
man.
Listen, it's not the fact they beat Man City.
It's the way.
They
the manner.
dominated
The manner.
the manner.
The man was in.
Man City had 2 shots the whole game. They didn't have a shot on target. They didn't have a shot after the 11th minute.
That's crazy. Stuff.
They had a double pivot of Akanji and Stones with Rico Lewis playing in the 10. Like, when we look at the Man City team, what are we saying? Is this the same thing where it's like, oh, okay, we're going to rule them out, but then March comes around and then they're back on it?
You can never ever rule them out. You got to give them the reasonable doubt because they've been there before. They know what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
We're forgetting De Bruyne is resting the chamber. We don't know what he's got in the tuck for us.
Nah, I agree. Don't fall for the City.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
what was
what they
me
do.
act? Oh, we're rubbish. Oh my God, we're playing defenders in midfield. Oh, look at us. No, look, this was an absolute stinker from Pep. And Unai, you have to. This was a
Masterclass.
schooling,
100%.
bro. He took him to school and absolutely said, whatever your tactics you prepared today, scrap that. I am imposing my game plan, and you have to give the players credit as well because I've been someone who's been a little bit critical of Villa, some of their signings. But
I have a
Ready.
tweet of yours, by the way. Just
Torres.
letting you know, Pau Torres. It says,
If you could've-
imagine asking for centre backs in the summer and you're given Pau Torres and Longley.
Hey.
Villa summer window hype.
This guy hates Villa, by the way. I've clocked with him every time Villa.
Pau Torres.
Give players which
Hold on. Let him land.
Pau Torres.
Yeah.
It takes a big man to do that.
Hey,
I appreciate it.
Real men apologize.
Bro,
Yeah,
trust
yeah.
me. Yeah.
You're not stubborn. I like that. You're not like
L
Faisal.
phase.
What I've seen, especially is since that Chelsea game, I remember he put on a blinder, and since then it's been steady improvement, and almost the whole ethos of them building out from the back starts with him. His passing range is incredible, and the
did know
defensive side
that.
of things, of course, all that he's a lot better than what I thought he would be because I thought physically can he really hack it, and I was like, okay, the Darwin Núñez game, he got cooked. And I was like, this is what I told you lot. But since that game, it was like, and that's the thing I respect the most, improvements. If you can pick out a weakness and then it's like, okay, now they found a weak point, they're going to press you all the time. Nah, come press me. Move diagonal. So, but that midfield, we have to speak on as well.
Douglas
The
Luiz.
diamond
Douglas
he's
Luiz,
playing in there.
Kamara.
Douglas Luiz, Kamara, Tielemans, and then McGinn.
Kamara's class. by
McGinn
the
is
way.
floating out wide, but what he's doing, he's coming in and making it this rondo session essentially in the middle. It gives Bailey this free roll to just go and do whatever you want.
He's
my brother.
looking like
You see-
Leverkusen Bailey.
You
Yeah.
see what he's
That's
doing
really cool.
recently?
That's
After
cool.
he dropped Diaby?
Hey, that's why Diaby's holding bench. X factor. That's what Bailey's showing.
Yeah, Leon Bailey.
And then
he's
and then
looking
Watkins
like,
just
Doing what he's doing this season.
just
holding
do
it up.
just
he's
brings
the
it all
ultimate
together.
hold-up guy. Yeah.
Bro, so the way Unai has just figured that team out, and you look at how it was 18 months ago under Gerrard.
Gerrard
Bro,
should
it's
never
a
be
big
employed
difference.
again.
Night
bro.
and day, bro. Like, this isn't a fluke. Like, we were thinking, Villa, when they get into Europe as well, it could have a knock-on effect. We've seen Newcastle has had a little bit of effect, and then Brighton has had a little bit. They're swimming. They're coasting. They're moving like Villa in our FM thing, bro. Like,
Crazy.
top 3.
Crazy.
They're, and they belong there. That's the thing. And this performance is the biggest sign of, we
We're
could
here,
be
we're
here
for
for
the
the,
take.
Yeah,
for the long
we're not going to
season.
drop off. We might
Yeah.
be in this top 4 race.
So
We're going
for
to
me,
be in this top 4 race.
I think January, what they do there, could ultimately decide what happens in the second half of the season.
What kind of body are you expecting in January? Like,
I don't even know,
just
because
more depth?
when I saw
Why do you wanna change it,
Tielemans
though?
signing,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, but they got Jacob Ramsey there, they got Buendia there, and I was like, so they're already stacked with depth, which is what I credit. Like, they've planned so well, and in the summer when I looked at it, I think that's maybe why I wasn't blown away. It was like, it wasn't no premier signings that are gonna push you to top 4, but what it was, strength and depth. And then now it's like, all right, we can have Diaby come out, we can have Bailey going, and Bailey going.
Just
It's
nice
like
rotation.
quality
Competition's healthy.
for quality, if that makes sense. And
I think that's what
Unai's
Unai Emery.
coaching that
I think
well
that's what
as well.
Unai Emery works well with. By the way, like I don't think superstars or whatever. Like I think he likes guys that are at a certain level that he can kind of elevate himself. First of all, he's an incredible, in my opinion, individual trainer in terms of like improving players one-on-one. You look at Bailey, he's improved again this season. Watkins looks like, bro, he looks like the most complete striker in the league at the moment. You look at McGinn, he's kind of had a new lease of life now as well. Like he gave him the captaincy. I just think he's so
Douglas
good at
Luiz as well.
Douglas Luiz. I mean, he's leading Fuizzi to like top 1,000 in the world in the PL, bro.
Fuizzi's
Unai
cooking
Emery,
something, man.
I just think, like, look, I know a lot of Arsenal fans don't like, or I wouldn't say that they don't like him, but like I feel like they're hesitant to give him too much credit because like they
give his
remember
props,
his
man.
I'll give him
But
props.
like
I'll give him his
the
props.
thing with me, right? Just because he had a bad stint at one club doesn't all of a sudden now mean that he can't be considered a top manager. Like people seem to think now he has a ceiling and he can only coach clubs like what is it? Aston Villa
Villarreal,
level, or
Sevilla,
Villarreal.
and-
If you had given Allegri that job after what's it called? After Wenger left, he would have
he was
struggled at
on the
Arsenal
struggle.
too.
It was a mess.
It was a poison
mess.
chalice.
He also won titles at Juventus. If
Yeah.
Emery goes to these kinds of clubs, he can still win. So I'm not gonna say he had a great time at Arsenal. I think it was a failure, but I still think he's a top manager. But you look at this guy compared to bar maybe the top 3. I would still say for me Pep Klopp, and I would still say Arteta's up there. What he's doing right now is crazy. Emery can chat to every manager in this league, bro.
Yeah,
top coach. But I think City is I think you guys are kind of. I understand why I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I think it's worth.
No. This game in particular was an absolute.
But I think it's been coming, to be honest with you. I look at the last 4. I mean, they're winless in 4. Which is the first time it's ever happened for Pep at City. I think in general in his managerial career, I can't remember ever a time that Pep has gone 4 games in a row off the top of my head. But I've noticed the last 4 games there's patterns appearing, and people will look at Rodri. He was the one who was missing.
Yes.
Rodri was there against Spurs. Rodri was there against Chelsea, and who was the third game that they drew? Was it Arsenal? No, it wasn't Arsenal. Who did they draw as well?
Get it up.
Liverpool. Liverpool. That's what it
yeah.
was. City don't have the same level of control that they did last season. And I think it's worth remembering because we'll talk about last season. Oh, they started slow and they always do this. They started slow for a reason. And Pep changed things up because it wasn't working. Let's not pretend like City just didn't try the first half of the season.
Yeah.
There was an issue with the fullbacks. He brought Nathan Ake in. He brought Rico Lewis in to increase some competition. He changed stuff up, and that's what changed their season. I don't think this City team that we're watching right now, the players that are playing, are going to be the same players. If City are going to be successful this season in 3, 4, 5 months. I think Pep is looking at this team and thinks he has issues in this team, and you will see changes, bro. This City team, it's not normal and like, oh, they're just going to fix it.
Of course
This is
not.
not a normal start to the season.
100%.
But I think a lot of people are looking at City and saying, this is what happens, bro.
No, but
I'm not-
it's going to be the typical thing of
that
Pep
we-
figuring out throughout
Yeah.
the season.
Yeah, that I agree
He'll
with.
tinker around a little bit.
And I think even him like throwing the 2 centre backs in, it's almost like not a little bit of self-sabotage, but it's kind of like, yo,
What I got.
look what I'm kind of dealing with here. So I think I also, am I crazy in saying, I guess with Haaland and Docker you could say, but City's spending and signing hasn't been like as crazy
as we
over the
usually think.
past
No.
year
It's been
or
more
2.
reserved, but I feel like FFP was just
But this
like,
year,
no.
they just signed Gvardiol for 90.
I know,
They
that's
signed
why- that's
Nunez
why I
for
kinda
what?
said
with the
Nunez
Haaland
for what?
Gvardiol.
40 or something like that. I can't remember exactly his price.
That was a weird one for me because I saw Nunez and Kovacic
Yeah, Kovacic
both
another
on
one.
bench, bro. And I was like, these were guys, if I'm not mistaken,
Starting for
I
the
thought
clubs.
Kovacic was going to come in and go up a level. I'll be honest with you. He looks like he's not
he's
cut for
shown
this
you
level.
that
And I
he
know
is who he
sometimes
is,
we say
yeah.
the Pep downloading the data. I think with Nunez, maybe that is
Yeah.
kind of the case because Nunez, I think last season at Wolves, everyone was saying what a player he was. Pep came first press and said,
First touch.
he ain't ready.
Start
He
casting
needs
first
to work
touch.
on that first touch.
Nunez wouldn't be at City anyways if they had Sam Paqueta. Fact.
100%.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's
He was a second
so,
choice.
So I'm curious to see kind of how they kind of progress, but there is no chance if you think I'm ruling City out of anything.
no,
No, for
we
No,
sure.
no, I don't think we're
But
ever going to
that playing
happen.
2 centre backs, Rico Lewis there, I thought
That didn't work, man.
Alvarez and Haaland as well got completely nullified, bro. Like invisible for the 2 games. So listen,
That's one thing I'm looking at, to be honest. Like when I look at this team, I'm thinking, where do I think Pep will change it? this Alvarez 10 experiment, and I like Alvarez.
I think it's done.
I think it's over.
I think it's done.
I don't know why Foden is not the 10 and Alvarez.
That's
is.
what
And that's another thing. He took off Foden. I think that was the wrong decision. I think Foden is becoming now an easy decision for Pep to just take off, and I don't like it, to be honest with you, because Foden is actually
he's the main guy that's been consistent performing for them. Yes,
I feel like he's almost like the easy guy for Pep to take out, to be honest with you. But I don't know. I'm looking at them, bro. Like the amount of chances that they're creating, and like the ease in which teams are finding, just like cutting through them. When last season their main strength was how defensively resolute they
Especially
were.
on the counter.
Chelsea, Spurs didn't pop them off the pitch, right? But when they went forward, they were finding success.
Yeah.
Villa, even after going 1-0 up, continued battering them, and it's like the aggression which they're playing. City like it looked almost timid.
Yes.
So I don't know. Like last season, if you remember, Pep was almost talking like, "Oh, the spark is gone from them. I need to bring in some new blood. I need to bring in these new guys who haven't won before." It's like, is that kind of the case that's happening again too? Now they won the treble and they're just happy. It's a weird one with City, bro. Because I don't think it's as easy as some people are saying. Oh, just Rodri comes back in the team. Because even with Rodri against Chelsea,
we said that. They said that about Stones the week before. It was like Stones came back in.
I don't know if it's a person. I don't know if it's just we're missing this guy.
I also feel like they're lacking creativity up front, which De Bruyne would have bought.
Of course, that I agree with. Yeah.
Alvarez in the 10, I don't think it's for me, but the last 2 games, goals and assists, he's there. But creatively, as a team going forward, put Grealish out there. I don't think it's quite working out sometimes. He might be there to retain possession, but come on, we need more threat like Doku would. Doku's like a target. Get out, man. Win.
But even Doku sometimes.
It's something different, though.
But yeah, I agree. And I like Doku. But even some games of him, like, it's like, okay, let's just hope to give it out to Doku and like hope he does something. And okay, he'll do a nice move, but the end product is in like City. This,
I think the biggest kind of miss in City's game is that fullbacks that they've removed that used to be the threat of the Cancelos and those killer overlaps that they used to have. Last season, obviously, that was the tweak Pep figured out. He was like, you know what, this 3-2-4-1, it works. It's almost like a rugby system.
A 3-2-4-1 only works with Rodri and KDB.
And that's the thing. But now I think we spoke on FCM. It's because he doesn't have the profile now. Because sometimes I do feel like the Doku thing does happen where, all right, give it to Doku.
Switch it, boom.
But Doku needs an overlap as well.
Yes,
Vardy, I think the other week, I think it was like 65th minute where he made his first overlap. And I was like, bro, give him some help. Like, come on. So, yeah, I think creatively, it shows how important KDB is. I think so many times, though, people have looked at City and been like, oh, they won a title without KDB. And listen, they got Bernardo, they got Foden.
Yeah, KDB is still him.
It goes to show you why he is the creme de la creme, why he is the best in his position without a shadow of a doubt, bro.
I feel like
and when he comes back, I think you're going to see almost a team be run through him. Pep, it's almost the old reliable for Pep. You know what I mean? Give it to KDB.
For me, he's like, yeah, you guys watch the Winter Soldier. What's his name? Captain America. He opens his book, he starts reading the Russian words. KDB's eyes just open. It's like, it's playoff time, baby. That's what KDB's doing, bro.
So enjoy your little PR tour he's doing at the moment. Come January, he needs to come out of the cryogenic chamber.
Do you think the impact of Gundogan leaving was even
not just him? Not just him. Mahrez as well.
I think Gundogan was Mahrez for me.
Park Mahrez for a second. I think the Gundogan one is actually very slept on in terms of even what he provided defensively. I think people will say the goals, but bro, he did so much going this way, and even the build up, what he would do. Because now it's all right, Rodri, cool. But there used to be Rodri and Gundo. Yes. Both would pick it up like that. And it's like, yo, we can't press either one.
Because when you had Gundogan, Rodri, Bernardo, and De Bruyne,
it's hard.
The amount of control you have in that midfield as well, too, is crazy. I don't know. Like, John Stones, like, we're talking again, like, okay, yes, he is a defender that can shift into midfield. He's not a midfielder, guys. Let's get that out of Like, I've seen people saying, oh, let's put John Stones in midfield. He's not a midfielder, guys. Like,
I've heard John Stones been a real fan, man. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Can't help casuals, man. What can you say? Can't help everyone.
And I feel like, especially when Gundo back in the day, when you pick up the half space in the box to unlock the defenders, no one's doing that for them. I'm not expecting Alvarez to go in the half space turn and find Haaland. When De Bruyne comes back, I feel like when that link up that they need, that's what they're missing a lot. Because he's the main guy that used to find Haaland, and now we're just finding Haaland missing all these chances.
Yeah, misses him, man.
But Kevin De Bruyne just puts on the plate. Here you go, tap it in.
Yeah, because Haaland, he's going to score goals regardless. I always say he'll score 20 goals for Bournemouth, but he wants the ball played in behind. And City already, in my opinion, hinder him in that sense. Like, he could go to other teams, and like that part of his game would be exploited a lot more. Yeah. But the one guy that does play him that ball, and like I see Haaland make tons of runs that people ignore, but the guy who play it is De Bruyne consistently.
I can't that's one thing I've been seeing with City this season is so many times Haaland makes these ghost runs.
Crazy runs, yeah.
And he just gets frustrated, isn't it? And I'm like, you don't know who you have, bro. Like
one of the best transition threats in the game.
It's baffling sometimes, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, Aston Villa have won 14 consecutive home league games for the first time,
fake,
and only the third time in the club's history. So yeah, it's a crazy
Yeah,
stat.
Emery's doing his thing, man. He's cooking.
The
He's
next,
the manager of the season by far
yeah.
for me. Yeah.
next game's on Saturday at 5:30 against Arsenal.
Ooh.
See, that's a big game.
That's a big game.
That's
And
what we
listen, we need to move on to the Arsenal game as
That's what
well.
we need. Gang!
We need to move on to the Arsenal game as well. Luton. Arsenal won 4-3 Luton. 97th minute winner by Declan Rice.
You know what I mean?
Rinaldi, you are the Arsenal fan here. Did you get to watch the whole game?
I watched the whole game.
What did you think of Arsenal's performance in
Not gonna
that
lie.
game?
If we didn't get that win, oh gosh.
Yeah.
How uncomfortable are we talking?
I'll tell. Hey, come outside, shoot. But don't worry. At the moment,
Wow.
it's happy days. Winning, it brings happy days. The winner, we needed that. Rice is just showing how important figure he is to our club. Party,
Did you celebrate like that, or did you celebrate with both hands? What did you do?
one hand.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
a little,
just a little one.
just a little one. You know,
That's on.
my guy,
That's it.
my guy.
That's it.
Rice,
He's signing the season, right?
hey,
Oh.
it has to be.
We would say he's signing the season.
It has to be.
I know you're saying Madison, right?
Madison was
The-
there.
He was
yeah,
there.
I would've-
Jenny there.
I'll give it.
His impact this
Do you
season
know
has been
if
crazy.
Vital.
he's not going to be talked about at all, but if Luton avoid relegation, Barkley might get a shout.
Allow it, man.
You see, no,
Nah.
you've lost your mind.
Okay, Barkley was really
Barkley,
good
man.
against.
But you see what Barkley
Bro,
done?
Barkley's
I've
bad.
never seen him play that for a while. He brought it back. It was 20.
He's like, this is not my
13.
level when
I
I'm playing
didn't
against
like
Arsenal.
that.
Why?
I didn't like that. I was like, bro, we did this. You know, you're a main prime time now. Guys do this all the time. Him and Andros Townsend, they were like,
He's like, hold on, we're the main game on TV.
Let's cook.
We roll that shit.
Amazon Prime,
Bro,
Tuesday night.
yeah.
I'm there.
I remember Aaron Lennon against Burnley against United. Bro, these old man, they do this all the time. They get the prime time game and they're like, Premier League years, time to roll it back. And fair play. Them man balled
The
out.
thing with
but-
Barkley
Well,
too
you
is
can't
like
even,
Barkley, bro. It actually hurts me seeing him like these days. 'Cause
Bro.
I remember when this guy was coming through,
Everton.
bro. Young, like next Rooney, they were talking. The guy, no, but hold on, he
Don't
was
do that. He was
hold on,
cooking.
hold on,
No,
That's
he was
too much. I
cooking.
agree. He was never really
I agree.
cool, bro. In terms of talent, in terms of like his
hype
build
as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I just remember like the way he was built at like 18 or whatever. It's like okay, I can kind of see it, right? Kind of like a big guy for an 18-year. But it's sad seeing what's happened to him, bro. Honestly,
But it was good
Yeah.
goal.
He's naturally talented, man.
You say good goal from him.
What?
Do you look?
Who are you talking about?
Yeah. So who's competing the
talk about
hardest
that.
for the second goalkeeper spot? Who do you think is competing the hardest? Because I don't think any of
Neither.
them was the first choice.
Neither.
They wouldn't be second choice.
And what's so confusing to me, he's doing goalkeeping mistakes. Corners. I think that's his biggest weakness at the moment, bro.
Definitely.
In the air.
Even though statistically, I think he's claimed the most crosses in the league.
But he can't seem to handle them at the moment.
Yeah.
One opportunity, he missed the ball, misjudged it. Open goal, header. Bro, how many times are we doing this? Weak hands. What are we? It's like, oh, no, I'm watching them in Champions League, weak hands everywhere. What's wrong with these keepers?
You know, teams like Luton as well, they'll be drilling their set pieces.
That's what
right?
they need.
That's going to be, they know these are the only chances we're going to get. As soon as they can sniff weakness around a Raya or a De Gea or someone like that, put someone on him straight away. You lot did it against Burnley 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, where you lot said, hey, that Trafford Rice, sit on him. Two goals came from it.
Last
straight
season,
away.
I remember we did that against Fulham. Leno. We knew his weaknesses at corners, and we just
exploited that shit.
Yeah.
I remember.
So, no.
But this being a consistent thing is going to be a big issue, especially if we're trying to challenge for the title as we are already. If people know that's your weaknesses, hey, training ground every week and just cross this ball in, he's not going to deal with it.
Where do you stand with the situation? Do you understand why Arteta dropped Ramsdale? Do you see why Raya is starting for you?
Well, they're both the same when I look at it.
One's
Both making-
Spanish, one's English.
That's it. And because he's Spanish, I think that's why he gets the favour.
I can't remember who I was speaking to. Someone was saying, like, they feel like he's almost a Claudio Bravo.
Oh, that was Sharky.
Sharky.
Or was it
Sharky,
Sharky? Yeah,
for
where
sure.
he's like, there's an Edison still to come. They don't
And I
believe
believe
him
that,
fully.
bro.
And the thing is, though, Arteta seems like he's fully buying in. Even after the game, it was like, I remember when Ramsdale made a mistake in the cutaway and he was just like, yeah, everybody play
Team
well.
play
Kind
well.
of thing.
Team
Yeah.
play.
But
I
this
think
one, he
he's
was just
just
like,
like,
it's part and parcel of the game.
But I
you
think
know.
he only answered like that because he's tired of the questioning. It's like every post-match press conference, you're going to ask me about Ramsdale.
Yeah,
Raya.
but I
like,
can't
I
lie.
just
For
feel
me,
like
it's
at this
rightfully
point,
so, right? Like
he's
I know he
made his
does.
pick.
Yeah,
He's made his
yeah,
pick.
100%. He has. Yeah, it's true.
And he's activated his buy option. I remember Romano tweeted like 2 weeks ago. He said it was 40 million that we basically activated in January.
Cancel that, man.
You cancel it?
I think Raya's in a tough situation too because clearly Arsenal fans, like most of them, anyways, like some are happy that Ramsdale's not longer there, but a lot of them built a connection with him.
With
In terms of,
Ramsdale,
like they
yes.
liked Ramsdale. Like he helped them get back in the Champions League. He hadn't really done anything like extremely wrong to lose his place, so that the next guy who comes
think
in,
that is why.
you're gonna be under a microscope. Okay, the minute he makes a mistake, oh, why did we drop Ramsdale or whatever? Me personally, I was never a huge fan of Ramsdale. I appreciated what he did at Arsenal the last 2 seasons. I thought he did a good job, better than I thought he could
Definitely
do.
a fan favorite.
But I've never thought like, oh, Ramsdale is suddenly undroppable.
Yes.
The issue is the guy who comes in
Has to be better.
has to be a clear upgrade. And to this point, I don't really think Raya has been an upgrade, in my opinion.
Man.
And I used to like Raya at Brentford, but so far, Yeah,
But in the
I'm not
game,
moved.
first goal was by Martinelli. Jesus,
My boy.
smart thinking, quick throw in.
Can I say this too? By the way,
Yeah, go for it.
because he didn't. I don't. Okay, he scored one,
Yeah.
but Kai Havertz. This is one of
He's
the best.
picking up.
This is the one of the best games I've seen. And like you look at even the goals he doesn't score, even assist. The goal that Jesus scores and the goal Martinelli scores. See Havertz's run into the box, and you might think it's just an easy run or whatever. I'm not trying to give. I know he's a 65 million pound player. We have to judge him highly.
Yes.
But like the simplicity of those attracting pressure, the way he goes in there and leaving those guys wide open. I think it says something about like his movement inside the box. So I think Havertz deserves credit for this game.
Havertz has scored as many goals for Arsenal in his last 4 appearances than his appearances. Than he managed his previous 32. Sorry, but yeah,
Let's start again. I did not catch that, mate.
Oh, sorry, mate.
yeah.
Kai Havertz has scored as many goals for Arsenal in his last 4 appearances than he managed in his previous 32. But I want to go back to the Martinelli one. I'm intrigued. I want the fans to kind of hear your opinion on Martinelli. Is it Martinelli or Saka for you?
It's always been Martinelli, I'll be honest with you. When I look at Martinelli, hate or love it, but I think his ceiling is bigger than Saka's. When I look at him individually, especially,
I used to think so.
I see something. Saka's got a nice element to his game. He's clean. He's intelligent. Like he knows how to retain the ball, and that's these smart runs. But I feel like Martinelli, because when I look at a player, X factor or some attribute that stands out. Martinelli, I think like his speed and his directness is something that can stand out. And other parts of his game, if he elevates it, for example, his goal scoring ability and decision making, I think he can turn into a better world class player.
Do you know what I've always said about Martinelli? I've said like I think his ceiling is almost like Son Heung-min. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Like a winger who
for
is
sure.
an
Son's one of the
incredible
best,
finisher,
players,
but the main aim of his game is almost like
Getting
the way
there.
he drives that and uses his speed and kind of his little jinky sharp runs that he kind of does. I've said like he eerily reminds me, obviously because he's a North London rival, people won't like that comparison, but I've said his game kind of reminds me of that, and I think if he does kind of fine tune those areas of the game, that's what he could be. Like
I don't hate that comparison.
and Son, you've seen now he's able to kind of shift into a 9 without a problem because he's kind of sharp on those
his
kind of
tools.
parts of his game.
And you kind of see that Martinelli. You can see them transitioning into the 9 as well.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I think his future lies in it. I used to agree with you, but I just think Saka. You talk about X factor, right? Like Saka has unlocked the side of
terms
his
of X
game.
factor, yeah.
Saka has changed my mind massively on him. I always thought he was good, but like in terms of like how I think of him now, he's shown me one. Just for an example, his ability now, and you might say, "Oh, it doesn't happen that often," but the fact that he even has it in his locker, I'm very impressed. His ability now that he picks up the ball from like 30 yards out and he can drive in and almost like fire at top corner sometimes like Bale used to do. Like the fact that he can do that, I don't see Martinelli doing that in his game. So like the fact that he even has that, like from 30 yards out, he immediately has like, you start thinking as a defender that he could do that kind of stuff. That puts his ceiling quite a bit higher in my opinion. And then you talk about the decision making, the crossing, look how often he gets double teamed on that right hand side and he still manages to come out with contributions in games. I've kind of changed my stance on that. I think Saka his ceiling is a bit higher.
Fair opinion.
Is that his third goal this season, Martinelli?
Second in the league. I think in the Champions League he's doing a lot
very,
better.
very slow, but Champions League, oh my days.
Yeah, he's doing his thing in the Champions League.
These two in Champions League, I got Robin and Ribbon each side.
Yeah.
You guys are looking crazy.
Hey,
Cooking.
yo,
2.0,
hey,
man.
You want to chill. Hey, don't get back on
Cooking.
the coach. What's he doing?
Cooking.
We're already
You know what?
I like you.
Cooking. Broski.
Hey.
Hey, bro. Watch the games. Watch the games, Champions League. I'm seeing them do things I've never seen. He's doing
Yeah, well, you're Arsenal in the Champions League. Of course you've never seen it.
No, look what he did. Here we go.
Come on, man.
Because I've never seen it. Yeah, no shit. You haven't heard the anthem in 6 years, bro.
That's fair point, to be fair. He's got his there.
That's fair.
That's a fair point.
That's fair.
But listen, the Robin Ribery, I remember Sharky said that as well, 2.0, yeah. What are we saying? Do you think,
Let them load.
yeah.
Don't,
them
don't
know.
kill
Not
these
anymore.
kids. Let them
Yeah,
be
let them thrive. Yeah, let
let Saka be Saka.
Let Gabby
let
be Gabby.
Marty
Yeah,
be
yeah.
Just
Marty.
enjoy
Gabby,
the
whatever.
football.
That's just dream, bro.
Just enjoy
That's
the
his
football.
dream.
What about the third member though, Jesus?
GJ9.
No, you see his performance? Amazing.
Such an exceptional footballer, man.
He scored,
honestly.
he got his goal, but everywhere you can see, he just wants to be everywhere involved. He's such a pure footballer.
Yeah.
Technically, amazing sound. Like his hard work. Oh, we need to speak about that. His work rate is just phenomenal. Without it, I think it makes up for his goals because he allows us to play. He allows Saka to play, Martinelli to play. And without that,
Flick to Havertz too. Yeah.
without it, we'll be struggling right now.
Do you-
'Cause
do you-
and we see it as well. For example, when Eddie comes in, we don't look as smooth as we normally would. There's not a lot of link
For
up.
some
play.
reason, when Jesus gets injured, it's like Eddie steps up a gear, but when Jesus is fit and he comes on, he just doesn't do anything. I don't know. It's confusing. So what do you think Arsenal can win a league with Gabriel Jesus at the 9?
Oh, it's a difficult one because when you get to the business end of the season, when you need them goals, is Gabriel's just going to be there to contribute the goals that we need, or he's just going to be all around playing, supporting the defense? I think like in Jan, we might need a striker.
He probably will in terms of, I think, just for competition and having that full safety because of his fitness. But I think
That's Eddie done, right?
Jesus has always been someone I personally always loved, bro. I can't even lie. Even as an Arsenal when he joined, I was like, yo, we need to make that last minute bid to see if we get. He said, nah, I ain't trying to hear that. Rightly so, I hear it. But I think his last season he showed it when he was fit for that early start. How many goals did he get? He got a good ratio, and his link-up play, the technique this guy has.
I think you put it perfectly. He's just a pure footballer. Man.
That literally
his feel for the game is really good.
Football,
honestly,
like football. And I think if he can stay fit, he will give you goals. The problem is you can't guarantee that.
That's the problem.
And availability is the best ability, as they always say. So I think in terms of having like just guaranteed goals there, if you really want to push for this title, you're going to need to sign someone in January. But if he can stay fit, that is a serious player. The problem you'll always have with him, though, is the fitness. And then when he stays fit, can he be consistent enough to kind of really bag those chances? Because he is going to miss a lot of big chances. Taking that extra.
Like you said, it's not a problem until it is. We're top of the league right now.
But I think Arsenal can win the league with Jesus up front, personally. Because I think they're going to do it this year.
True, yeah. And I like our spine.
Was that your pre-season prediction
at the moment? Our spine at the moment is solid. I think we've got the best spine at the moment in the league.
Yeah, probably.
If you look at it, we do.
I mean, unless you don't count the goalkeeper. If you were taking out the goalkeeper.
Forget. Liverpool, no? You ain't moving.
The midfield, maybe.
Van Dijk, Matip been very solid. The midfield has been...
Yeah, but like when you think of spine, you usually think of like a DM or whatever.
Alisson.
Yeah, in terms of like Alisson, Van Dijk, I don't know. Like for me, the lack of the DM right there is killing me. Like... But then they don't have a great goalkeeper. I mean, it's probably still City. I can't lie. When Ederson,
who's their best?
Who's fully fit? Yeah. But defensively, you guys
have been solid. We've improved so much.
Little trio of Rice.
Spurs?
No, man.
A little trio of Saliba, Gabriel, and Rice is top, man.
But my only issue is if they get injured, do we revert back to the last end of the season where if Saliba gets injured, who's there to replace?
I feel like Kivior, Tomiyasu.
No, but Kivior is not going down to Rob Holding. I think that's the difference.
I think
it's not based on like the drop off from Saliba and Holding. I think was too far. Kivior has shown he's more than capable, bro. Like filling multiple positions as well. And I think Tomiyasu, Swiss Army knife, man.
I just think too.
He's out of another calf injury.
He's out as well too. But I just think with Arsenal, right? I was someone who said like, just like I don't think City. All of a sudden it's because of Rodri. I didn't think last year was all because of Saliba. I think last year there were several things that went into it. Like maturity as well too. Keeping your bottle. There were some big individual mistakes. I think this year you guys are just a year older, a year wiser, a year more mature, some better players added to the squad. So I wouldn't look just like, oh, if there's an injury. I think you guys are better equipped, not just in terms of personnel, but mentally to cope with an absence like that.
But even with this 11, we did concede 3 to Luton. So shout out to Luton as well. We did give him some love as well.
Everyone that's gone home.
Listen, you had them finish
outside the relegation. Luton Nation, we're staying up, baby. I'm telling you right now, bro.
Luton Nation, what's that?
Yeah, Luton Nation.
What's going on in Luton Nation?
He's got some gal in Luton, man.
I know it's trick, man. I know it's trick, man.
What's Luton days, man? They got him in the headlock.
Crazy.
I can't Luton at home. It's tough game. Liverpool's gone there. Yeah. We've gone there, bro. It's looking like a tough place to get points at the moment.
Listen, the thing with them is they're improving game by game as the season goes on, and I think and I think you're seeing their manager as well is actually almost growing into as not the role, but like the Premier League as the season goes on, if you like. And listen, quality is gonna show at the end of the day. And 100%. I think with Arsenal, you just have to give them mental credit, bro, because I don't think this is the first time as well. Is it
Liverpool? They drew last minute against Diaz.
I think United they went last minute.
It wasn't last minute, but like they played a good game against us.
Brentford was at 88th minute as well. So it's like there's been quite a few games where just all right, performances might not be there. And I was one of those where I was like, hey, these men ain't looking as fluid as last year. But then you look at the stats in terms of defensively, they look kind of better. Attacking wise, they're still kind of the same goals. And
are you talking about Arsenal or Luton?
Arsenal.
I was talking about Luton.
It's just over to Arsenal.
I was talking about Luton.
I said, what are they talking about?
Last season.
I said,
no,
okay, that makes
I'm
sense.
talking about Arsenal.
Oh,
so for me, it's the late wins, bro. It's like, and the fact that, okay, the football might not be pretty, but it's efficient football. Do you know what I mean? So
I feel like even like when we win games last minute, that can't always be our last result. We need to be ruthless and just finish games off, because you saw last season, it takes a toll. You can't keep always coming back from losing positions and try to score these last minute goals, because at the end of the day, you either lose, draw, or win them. Majority of the time, sometimes you should lose them or draw them. And can't drop points at the
But I
moment.
can't lie, you guys scored 4 goals away from home, bro. I think today is like that game is mostly on the goalkeeper, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Personally, like,
2 of the
look,
goals were straight on goal.
yeah. So I don't think today was really, or I say today, the game was 2 days. I think the issue was more so the defensive side of things. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna stay on Luton, bro. The unity that I'm seeing from that team, I think.
Luton Nation.
Are we saying an upset?
I think they're still staying.
Facade,
Hold on,
bro.
think about it. I think Sheffield are done, in my opinion, unless Chris Wilder can pull off some crazy shit. We'll talk about him later. Burnley, in my opinion, are down as well too. I would say those 2 I would expect to go down.
Nuts.
It's that 3rd spot.
I think nuts.
No, Forest are kind of getting they're creeping
try to
down
put
there.
Sean
Crystal
Dyche down there. I
Palace.
told
We'll
them,
talk about
hey.
that. No, but anyways,
try to
my
put my
point
big
is,
dog there.
Luton, in my opinion, are like probably the prime candidates to go down as well. But it's that 3rd spot. I like what I'm seeing, man. That ground is tough to go to.
What are you saying in terms of their next game?
Who do they got next? Man City.
At home, though.
Long day,
I'll be
guys.
But at home,
City 4 games in a row without a win. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
smoke.
Pep's trying to get the GBG and let everyone know we're still
That's
here.
gonna be angry Pep.
Luton Nation is long for us.
But listen,
Look
we,
at next game.
we had analysis from Kewen. He's a Luton fan. He said, regardless of circumstances, you have to give props to Arsenal for the comeback, as those kinds of games are the ones that win you the title. Our home form is what's gonna decide if we stay up or go down this year. And after this performance, I'm feeling even more confident. Barkley has found a new role in the number 6, and he's put in the great performances week in, week out. Osho got man of the match and showed his class once again. Even though we lost, this must have given the lads a much needed confidence boost for the winter break. With Man City losing to Villa and not winning in their last 4, hopefully we can nick a point at the Kenny. Either way, this year's title race is shaping up to be an all-timer, and I'm here for it. That's what I like about Luton fans is like, listen, we're
just have
going to
to
deal
be
with our
here, bro.
relegation,
That's
but
what
we're going
I
to
see.
do
What's he got to
That's
do,
why I
man?
love Luton
What's he
Nation,
do,
bro.
man? He's
That's
just
why I
looking up
love
all the
Luton
time, man.
Nation, bro.
Luton Nation.
Hey, come on, bro. I got you.
You never been to Luton, man.
I'm all about representation. I'm
Been
about
to Luton anyway, man.
Faisal, what? Faisal can dick ride Liverpool. I can't show support for Luton. Crazy.
That's true. But listen, let's go on to our next game, Tottenham versus West Ham. A 2-1
It was just a bat, man. I was like,
You were
what's
laughing
the
too
back?
much, man.
Hey,
You've been enjoying
That's
the
having
highlight
fun,
too
man.
much. Ange Ball.
Ange Ball, listen, another game where you've led, you took the lead, and then you lost the game. It's just becoming a problem right now. You were at the game, actually. What was it from your perspective? How was it watching the game, and where do you think it kind of went wrong for you guys?
Give us a tour of the
5
box.
games without a win, mate.
Crikey.
No, honestly, it was just the same old story that's been happening the kind of past couple of games where we seem to play well. We seem to kind of dominate possession, but West Ham just kind of had this low block setup that we just could not seem to break down in the second half. And in the first half, I thought we should have
It
been
could
up
have been scary.
2 or 3, maybe. It was like, yo, we can really turn this into a kind of route. But big up Romero first and foremost. I think big header coming back as well from 3-game suspension. You owe us a little something. That's a good way to get your get back. But after that, it was like, all right, cool. Second half, we should be going in, kind of coasting and seeing this game out. But fair play to West Ham. They come out and said, Tottenham, we know you lot, man. Come outside,
It's a
brother.
similar story to the Villa game for you, where you're dominating the first 20
Dominating,
frames,
dominating, and then the other team almost just realizes that we can't break them down.
Consistency,
And then
yeah.
we start doing the classical Tottenham thing where we work ourselves out and start breaking ourselves down. And you look at the 2 goals, bro, 2 complete freak show goals, but they're so like, the only team you can see conceding them are Tottenham Hotspurs.
And that back pass.
so true.
Of course, Udogi's back pass just falls. Of course, my man's long shot goes off Udogi to Romero and right into Bowen's path. Of course, this is
It's so
perfectly
scripted. It's
set up.
Spurs,
It's just so Spurs.
He's the only club on the planet that should happen
Only
to.
team that will happen to. And once the second goal goes in, I'm just like, bro, I just sunk into my seat. I just went, yeah, man, you know what type of fixture this is going to be now. So, listen, 2-1 loss. The only thing is now, 1 point in 15 out of 15 points. Haven't won in 5 games now. So, you're almost hoping that this isn't a slide we're on. I know everybody's looking at it like, the true Spurs are finally showing themselves. But if you actually look at the performances, they're actually not that bad. They've
No,
been
if you watch the
good.
Tottenham games and you don't look at the
We've
scoreline, you see
solid
how well
in
you're
moments,
performing.
but then it's just these weird, freakish moments where we just seem to undo ourselves. And same thing happened in the City game, same thing happened in the Villa game, where it's just little moments we're getting undone by. And I thought, as a club, we were over this. As I said many a times, even when things were going well, I kind of forecasted almost few chinks happen in our first team lineup. This thing can go south very quickly. We're at that stage now, and I think Andrew's doing a decent job of trying to almost resuscitate life into this team as much as he can. But when you look at almost the forward options, our first 2 subs today were Oliver Skip and Richarlison.
And who's the last guy that came on?
We are 2-1 down, brother. These are the game-changing subs we're making. Brennan Johnson today, absolute stinker.
You had something to say about Brennan Johnson.
Very busy. Stinker.
Not very
Human
effective.
Son today. The attack today was just so disappointing. And then the lack of quality within the starting lineup is one thing. Then when the substitute come on, you hope he can give you an impact. Big chance falls to Richarlison.
What does he do?
What do you think?
Bro, like this guy is simply just not good enough. And I don't know what people need to convince themselves, because I think sometimes people are always like, nah, it will come good. Play him through the 9, play him on the left. I've said
That's cool.
the day he signed, I said, yeah, we're finished. We are finished. If this is what 50 million gets us, forget about it.
Brazilians in the Prem these days,
Bro,
There's always like Tottenham. Their Brazilians is just weird.
Sandro is decent.
Gum shields on the pitch. Who does that?
Anthony.
Yo.
Hey.
Like, but no,
Favelas, produce please.
please, man. What did Cam say? We got to start sending money over there. They're too rich over there these days. But at the end of the day, it's typical kind of good performance, if you like, but then walking away with nothing because we're simply toothless, bro. And it's like the lack in quality in depth is showing, and we're limping basically till January. I'm just hoping that we don't bleed out till then.
Get some
bro.
bodies in January.
Listen,
Need it.
bodies. We need more than that, brother. We need lipo. We need BBL. We need a lot, brother. I'm telling you. Because it just goes to show you how scarce that first 11 was, bro. And the thing is, if someone like a Son doesn't turn up on form or something like that, that's one of your 11 completely missing. Do you know what I mean? Udogie has a bad day like that, bro. Come on, like, what can you do? So you need more than just 1 or 2, in my opinion. But we got to be modest, of course.
Facts. I think that's the key thing right there, to be honest. I haven't been on the last few weeks since Spurs have been dropping points, but what I would have said is kind of like that same exact thing, right? Spurs are going to be meaty these next few weeks, honestly. Like I always say, in terms of like, I don't think you should ever sacrifice identity when it comes to injuries. I think what gets sacrificed is quality. Right? I think a good coach makes sure that his fingerprints are still on the team, but he can't help individual performances. Yeah. And that's what you're seeing with Spurs. Like the players that are out there on the pitch are not Ange's guys. I think Ange has shown you enough. He has enough credit in the bank to show you that when his guys are out there, you guys are going to play good football and you're going to get the results. But right now, you just kind of... You're just kind of like chugging along, and this is Spurs now. This was the reality. None of us expected them to be as good as they were now, but this is the team that we have at our disposal. So
the only thing I will say is like moving Kulu out of the 10, seeing how good he played there the last couple of games, I was a little bit annoyed at that. Seeing Højbjerg start, I'll be honest with you, you wanted him out in the summer. It's a similar thing like
Maguire and McTominay.
But at least those guys have performed to earn their way back in. This guy hasn't. It's like
Højbjerg looked okay against City, no?
He's looked okay in some games.
He's looked okay for the last 3
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, we're past that okay bit now. It's like we don't need to kind of start him. And it was like, for me, it was like if Sarah is good enough to kind of fit enough to be on the bench, start him and then maybe kind of take him off or something like that.
Bissouma's looked a bit off recently.
No, but today
Can't lie to you.
What today?
Today,
He had a decent game, though.
do you know what it was? It's because against Man City was so bad.
Yeah.
Man City, that performance there was like the ultimate worst version of Bissouma, where he tries to overcomplicate everything, and then the way he makes up for the mistake is, I'm gonna do something even more extravagant to make up for that one, and it was just going wrong. And today he kept it more simple, but I feel like since the Luton red card, his performances haven't been the same level, and I don't know whether it's like that punching, driving pass he used to play in the final third. He doesn't really play that anymore. Now it's like we try and dribble past the man and then just kind of shovel it off type of thing. So I don't know whether it's an instruction from Ange, but since the Luton dismissal, he hasn't looked the same in my opinion. He needs to get back to levels because that was a key component in our kind of build-up. So for sure, man.
Rindy, did you have a point about Brennan Johnson's outside? Did you? Yeah? What do you say?
Work on his finishing. The amount of opportunity he gets per game and doesn't deliver for them is costing them games big time. And you can see that today, City.
Do you know what he has? It's like weak finishing. I can't explain it, but it's like doesn't have enough.
He's not a good ball striker. Yeah, he's not a good ball striker.
The foot goes limp at the moment of contact, and I'm like, brother, get some strength in that ankle, bro. And it's like, this was my concern when we signed him in the summer. I was like, this strikes me as Richarlison 2.0 almost a little bit, where we don't know his best position. Kind of, okay, he played decent on the right, but we sign him as a kind of forward and a left winger maybe. But then it's like, what is his best attribute? Okay, he's pacey and he can get in behind, but I'm talking technically on the ball. What is he really good at? Can't really give me anything. So I worry that we spend the season kind of shovel him in different positions and nothing really works. And then a year later, you're kind of looking at him and Richarlison, 100 million total spent.
You just described, I can't lie, you described Jesse Lingard at United for like 4 years, right? I can't lie.
Bro,
not a great ball striker, very busy, not like how much busy, but not really like showing you anything at the end of it. Odd big game, yeah.
And my issue with the Richarlison and Johnson type signings is we've just dealt with 7 years of Lamela and Lucas Moura, where we saw this, and they gave us moments, a hat trick, cute Rabona.
Yeah.
I don't care for this shit anymore. I just want to see some actual quality. And guess what? I thought I got that in Kulusevski. And even he's letting me down. So it's like, come on, someone has to actually step up.
Kulusevski was fuming at the end as well.
He should be. I hope he's fuming at himself because he is one, honestly, this season I've had so much kind of high hopes on him. And they've been the underlying metrics of, but he's creating the most chances. And Richarlison's just not finishing them, bro. Bro, if you're watching these games, this guy is just plays so predictable. Gets the ball on the right, he's going to give you this, and then he's going to come inside and
try to
play
shoot
something to the
rapid.
back post. And it's like, brother, what happened to that unpredictability? What happened to that little bit of X factor that you kind of had about your game? And I don't know whether it's the injuries that's kind of knocked his confidence, but he does not look the same player he was when in the first 6 months we signed him. And he's one, I'll be honest with you, when Kane left, I was like, you need to take some of this burden. Son has now returned to form. You've given me kind of like goals here and there, but I need consistent quality performances, bro. Like, you're meant to be a premier top European winger, bro. Like the Saka conversations and these Kvishas and all of that. Kulusevski, can you get there, please? Come on.
Yeah, but listen, even though you were architects of your own demise and you conceded 2 goals, shout out to West Ham, man. Like I said, they came to
Listen, man.
I'm not gonna shout. I'll be sorry, man.
War-Proud hype, man.
Set piece specialist.
Tired of that guy, man. Bro, Southampton last year was doing the same nonsense. Bro, every time I see this guy, he's whipping something.
Ward-Prowse assists himself, man. He's incredible.
Cold. But Bowen,
Would you take Ward-Prowse on the plane to England?
you need to.
I wouldn't.
Why not?
If you got Trent, you kind of don't need him.
I think his set piece quality is great, but I feel like it's overstated. Like people, I love what Cam said the other day. He's like, people act like there's like this dream scenario where England get a free kick in the 89th minute.
Just
Ward-Prowse this ain't NFL, bro. There ain't no kicker at the end of the game, bro. Man, like honestly, like I just feel like if you ever have to have Trent Ward-Prowse on the pitch for England in a big World Cup game or whatever, you're at a disadvantage, bro. Like that, he's a good player, but he's not an international level player. And I think, like you said, you see Trent banging free kicks. I'm not saying Trent's as good at set pieces as Ward-Prowse, but Ward-Prowse is an automatic, bro. Let's be honest, bro. He doesn't score every single free kick he takes. You guys are acting like he's Juninho all of a sudden. Like, I wouldn't.
Speaking of Juninho, Lisa's got a Leon video coming out very soon.
Hopefully soon. We're working on it. Check it out.
2 months, bro.
You're
being generous.
You saw the editing, bro. It ain't easy.
Doing his own edit. It ain't easy, man. But listen, West Ham move up to 9th. Where do we see them this season? Do you see them going to the Europa League spots, like kind of competing there?
I don't know, you know.
Not Europa League spots for you.
I don't think so. I think the league is very competitive this year. Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa are going to be in there. City, Spurs, United, Newcastle. I think all those teams are. Yeah, Brighton and West Ham Premier. Yeah, I don't think they'll make. They might make Conference League. They'd be lucky to make Conference League.
Okay.
But to be fair, they're in Europe right now, aren't they?
they are.
Maybe they can do another cup run like
I think they've qualified for
They're in the
group
Europa League.
stages.
Yeah, they're
won
going
Conference
through.
League.
Yeah, who knows? I think in the league though, I don't think they'll finish in the top 8.
But if Moyes wins the Europa League,
Oh.
what are we saying?
2-time.
What are we saying?
2-time.
And he's still good.
He's got the winning. He's got the winning formula right there, man.
Hey, man. He might be. He might just be like a European specialist at this point. Might be moving to that Emery kind of thing.
I say they might make top 8 to be.
Top 8?
If they make top 8, that means Chelsea's not making top 8.
I don't think Chelsea.
Do you believe? I bet you're expecting Chelsea in the January transfer window.
That's
if
a
they
good
recruit
one,
well.
actually. Who
I'm
finishes-
expecting
who finishes
Chelsea's.
higher?
I'm expecting Chelsea's players to rise.
I don't think
please.
they're rising, bro.
That's all I'm expecting about buying more
on,
players.
man.
How about the players that they currently bought? Can they please rise?
Hey, the Chelsea fans are complaining right now. You're talking about the players, man. Sorry. I'm stop saying, man. I'm saying.
Well, I forgot how the show works.
Yeah,
You guys are great.
But listen, we have analysis by 55 Hems. He's a West Ham fan. He said, what a player Bone is for us. He's on 9 goals in the Prem now and is a top English goal scorer in the Prem. Bone was my man of the match. The first half, we couldn't really get going, but in the second half, Bone really bullied their defense, especially for the first goal. He held the ball up against Romero really well in the build-up. Ward-Prowse scored the winner, and it came from a bad mistake from Tottenham. I feel like Vicario could have kept hold of the ball, but I'm not a keeper, so I don't know. Should ask Faisal or something.
I know you made that bit up.
I
No,
agree.
I promise you that's what I said. I promise you.
I agree with both points. I do think Romero should have done better to keep Bowen away there, if you like. And then Vicario, come and claim that. Like, if you're going to come out, and even if you're going to kind of punch at it, don't punch it straight to the attacker. He literally put it in his path. I'm like, oh, come on, man.
Well, listen, what's your next game coming up? What is it?
You need guys to win.
Yeah, you got Newcastle at home. Well,
Yeah, Newcastle's next.
that's it.
I think
And they're both coming off a big loss as well.
you can get something.
Yeah.
Newcastle tend to beat up the bigger sides, but we'll see. We ain't big.
We can go on to that game right now. Everton
Thank you.
3-0.
He teed you up perfectly for that transition. I was wondering. I was waiting to see. Hey,
So he's left house.
you host. He's fine. Yeah, you've evolved. Okay.
You know
good.
why? It's because you're my co-host today.
Get off his meat, man.
I was dead ass waiting for him to make that transition.
Get
He
off
just
his
teed
meat,
you up
man.
perfectly.
Doing
Good stuff.
backflips on it, man. But listen,
Shit, man.
Everton 3-0 win against Newcastle. Wow, what a I think this result's been coming from Everton, man. They've had every game I've seen. They've had high XG above 2.0. This game has really paid off.
Can I say something?
Go for it.
Everton, I owe you an apology.
They're out of the relegation zone, by the way.
I owe you an apology.
No. Please don't interrupt me because I.
Let me hear this one.
There was doubts.
Let me hear this
And I
one.
want to hear.
Everton, I've been on the record. I looked at their team consistently. I didn't rate the individual quality of the players. I looked at the squad. I'm like, there's no way this team can stay up. I had Everton going down. In fact, I think for the last 3-4 years, I've had Everton going down. Massive credit to Sean Dyche. Massive credit to Sean Dyche.
Round of applause.
Because the way he has this team, again, a team of players that I'm not massively in love with, playing football right now. The last few games, like you correctly said, they've been unlucky during games where they've been creating chances and it just hasn't been falling their way. This result was coming, and I think it speaks volumes to the fact that, look, they had a 10-point deduction. They'd be level on points with Chelsea Football Club right now if the deduction never happened. You know who Everton's playing next?
Chelsea Football Club.
Listen.
So, Everton... what's his name? The guy on the left, McNeil.
What a goal.
McNeil, baller.
What a goal.
Harrison on the right, playing great football. In midfield, Doucouré popping up with goals like he always does. Everton, I'm impressed, and I owe you an apology.
Even for the second goal, man, McNeil, man, very, very good layup to Doucouré.
Doucouré, he needed that, man.
He needed that. And Beto in the 96th minute. We were thinking it was offside. Is it offside? What's going on? It kind of looked off, to be fair. I'll be honest. But
It was a very good finish.
First
I like
Premier League
that
goal
finish.
of the season for him, man. He needs to get off.
Hopefully he builds confidence from that, man.
Because I've been real, man. DCL, he's not moving.
He wasted
That
a lot of
chance, he
chances,
took
man.
a touch inside the box. He was next to the goalkeeper. He just had to left foot lace it towards. I was like, where are you
You
shooting,
could
bro?
just see his confidence is just
gone.
not
Oh,
there,
damn,
man.
man.
And it's weird how 2 years ago he was
Ancelotti.
guy.
You remember under Ancelotti?
He was having that streak. But do you know one player who I really like in Everton's team? Jared Branthwaite.
Oh,
Yeah, he's really good.
He
I can't
deserves
lie.
a lot, man.
You know, I always love watching the centre backs, but he is one
centre-back
this season.
easy, man.
Every time I've seen him, Garner as well, former your player as
good
well.
player.
They just look so tidy. I'm just like, bro, you're gonna have a long career.
But I
in the
thought they're already
Premier League.
linking him to United, as you do.
Don't start making those crazy jumps. Nah,
No, I'm saying he's already been rumored to.
back to Spurs. Well, you know,
went
got
on
you, baby.
Well,
North
man, I
London.
didn't do that for you.
No.
Romero ain't doing it for
You know
you?
what I'm saying?
No, Romero,
Rotation,
Brentford, Was he was on loan to PSV, right? How did he do? Did they know how he did that? I mean, clearly did enough for Everton to be like, you know what? You're starting this season, man. And he's done really well,
Another
man.
one, City Youth product as well, isn't it? If I'm not
I
mistaken.
don't speak on players I don't really know like that. I can't lie. I wasn't familiar with him until this season, but this season he's been.
This
Wow,
season he's
what
been
refreshing outlook.
Yeah,
because
I'm not
last week we had Sharky teeing up Faisal saying, "Oh, Ryan Christian,
no.
what great
I
shift
saw
at right
that.
back."
Yeah.
Blackburn.
Yeah, that's
But you
it.
see,
no,
Faisal will speak
Blackburn.
about players that he's never seen
Seen
before.
before.
Yeah. But me, you get authentic, refreshing takes. I hear it.
That's what the Chelsea fans don't like right now.
I hate the truth.
I hate the truth,
I
man.
hate the
But-
real.
True
But
facts.
listen, Everton out of the relegation zone now. Fair play. Took a 10-point deduction. Don't worry, we'll come out of the relegation
Sean
zone.
Dyche, I expected nothing less, man. I said, well, how many games was it when the 20-something games left? I said, there's no chance Everton go down. And besides, there's 3 worst teams in the league anyway. So
Yeah, no, I agree.
it's, I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes mid-table.
Facts, I think.
That's if he finishes mid table after a 10-point deduction.
That's manager of the season. Has to be manager of the season. With a 10-point
It
deduction.
depends what Emery does.
what do you
Bro,
mean?
Villa
But
finished
a
top
10-point
four.
deduction.
If
is
Villa
crazy.
finished top 4, that's nuts, bro.
Basically, you're basically saying he started with minus 10 points and everyone else started with 0 and he got mid-table.
Yeah, but he's in a league with 3. What do I always say? In the land of the blind, the man of what I can say. You have in the land of the blind with 1 leg, basically.
He actually
Come on,
lost to
bro.
Luton at home as well, didn't he? I remember Luton.
Jesus.
I forgot about that game.
Luton Nation, we got some, but Sheffield and Burnley.
That's uncomfortable. That's very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
like you said, that was a good point you made. Everton got Chelsea next. Are we expecting another Boppage? I can't see Chelsea getting
is that
anything.
Goodison?
At Goodison.
Yeah, I'm expecting Everton to come away with something.
The way he bit his lip there for a second.
Caicedo versus Doucouré and Enzo versus who do we got?
Lewis Miley.
Get uncomfortable for them, man.
Oh, no,
It's crazy.
Everton.
Lewis Miley's Newcastle.
No, that's Newcastle.
No, I'm talking about
Chelsea.
Everton. Yeah, no.
Everton. Everton started
Idrissa
with
Gueye
Doucouré.
and Idrissa Gueye and Doucouré versus
Caicedo
and Enzo. Is it too much to ask for performance, please?
You about to be black.
Hey, yo.
Welcome to the new experience.
This guy's crazy.
Guys, if you don't know, we're filming this at 2 a.m. for your pleasure, so you can understand where we're going with this one.
See what Spurs got my guys doing, man.
Hey, man, it's crazy, man. I hear it, man. Like,
What's up with Newcastle, though?
Hey, man.
I feel like
Was that like
injuries,
a...
man. Injuries are killing them. And everyone's gassing.
League for you, bro, honestly.
I think the three teams that are suffering the most is Brighton, Brentford, and Newcastle in terms of injuries, man.
Injuries is just killing them.
Huh?
I'm surprised United aren't up there.
In terms of injuries?
Yeah.
Who you got?
Maybe because we've got a few back. But
Leach
there's a
up.
point, where we
the-
were suffering as
The
well.
point that, yeah, of course. But I'm saying now, I think you're getting your starters back.
Premier
now,
League
to be
is so weird, though, right? Because United smashed up Everton. Everton smashed up Newcastle. Newcastle smashed up United.
fair. Exactly.
Weird
They
league
dominated.
this year, bro. Yeah, they
Yeah,
killed us.
Newcastle playing against the big teams, they just seem to
And
find
at
their rhythm
St.
or find
James's
their
Park,
way.
too,
And at
it's
St.
just-
James's
yeah,
Park, yeah.
Today, it's Trippier. The mistakes coming
it's
from
true.
him.
Those two mistakes were horrific. And I have him at
For a player
FPL.
with
What a
that
bum, man.
experience, you don't expect that, but the mistakes cost him daily.
The first one,
See
okay,
that
cool.
Trippier? That's the Spurs one.
I'm with you, bro.
That's nasty work, you know. That's nasty work.
Yeah.
I don't be.
That's that, brother.
I don't be. I know you. I'm with you, bro. I don't be saying anything, but when I see these tweets now, like, oh, Trippier is like the combination of Trent and Reece James. Like he doesn't really have errors. I was like, I remember when they were calling him Strippier, bro. That's I remember. I remember this. I remember this Trippier days. He went to Atletico Madrid and started wising up his game. But let's not act like Trippier now has been some
He
like.
went through the camp at Diego.
Yeah, bro. Diego put him through boot. Yeah, Diego put him through boot camp. But let's not pretend like Trippier was always this perfect right back, bro.
Don't joke yet, man, because hey, Newcastle's next game is against you guys away.
We're bucking him. I know.
I'm just saying, are you?
No. Trippier.
Nah, Trippier has done his thing now. But I just think.
Listen,
Yeah,
but
Today was an
today
absolute
was Trippier.
nightmare.
I recognize that. I recognize that. That's what I'm saying.
Nightmare performance. The first mistake, you're like, oh, okay, cool. It can happen. He did the exact same thing. I was like, what
Dwight
are you doing?
McNeil sniffing for that shit.
Oh my
That
god,
goal
man,
was
I
incredible. I
can't believe
can't lie.
Yeah.
Dwight McNeil was like a vintage Premier League winger as well, innit? You know what's crazy? You know he's only 23.
Yeah, he's young.
Dwight McNeil is only 23.
No, he
when I saw
just
this
turned 24.
Bro, okay.
What?
Bro, when I saw that, I was like,
24?
huh? Because we've heard his name for so long. Bro.
Yeah.
He was the
He
youngest.
was like a teenager at
coming through
Burnley.
At
Yeah.
Burnley, yeah, basically like 16, 17.
He would have made
I was like,
your Saturday social topic, to be fair. Did he? Did he not make
Nah.
it? Because he just
Nah.
turned 24. That's what it
Nah,
was.
He was, to be fair, I think they were looking at that upper echelon.
That's
of
what
the
it was.
academy.
Damn.
So Dwight, they should have included him.
Do you think he did? He's on like a big move or that? Do you think that's his
I
level?
swear he just made.
This is his level. This is level.
That's
This
level.
work.
He
Earn
went
your
from Burnley
stripes.
to-
Earn your
Be
stripes.
that guy, that mid-table.
I can't lie.
Premier
Dwight
League.
McNeil screams Spurs at 28 years old for me. I can't lie.
Let me not lie.
Spurs.
He screams moving to Spurs at 28.
You don't
Squad
sign him.
option.
Yeah. He strikes me as a Spurs player.
Just another
Richarlison's still trying to make it out there while he
said it,
comes,
not me.
Nah, fair enough. Fair play, man. But
No,
listen.
but Everton, honestly, massive credit to them.
Nah, fair play to them. And like I said, they went to Newcastle, absolutely dominate them. The next game, like you said, is against Chelsea. It'll be interesting how they do. Listen, there's two big games on Sunday. Everton against Chelsea, Newcastle versus Tottenham. But let's move on to the next game. I know you get Liverpool fans. I know you're expecting us to talk about you guys next. But we have to talk about 5-0 thrashing, man. Fulham, 5-0 against Nottingham Forest. Absolutely decimated
Can I give
them.
another round of applause, by the way?
I was just about to.
To Raul Jimenez.
Hey, he's back.
Hey, chill.
He's back.
I'm not gonna say he's back, but it's a great
Yeah,
performance for a
yeah,
guy that's gone through a lot the last few years.
He wants to go overboard shit.
Y'all remember?
I'm excited. He's back.
I don't know. How much do you guys watch NBA? I don't know how much, but do you guys remember when D Rose had that 50-point game for Minnesota and he like broke down or whatever? It was like his first moment back. That's what it reminded me of watching Raul Jimenez. Like, you still got some dog left in you, bro.
That goal.
The back heel.
Back heel was nice, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
class. Even the first goal's a great finish,
Yeah.
man.
But listen, before we get into how dominant Fulham were, Forest, what is it? Steve Cooper, is he done now? I think Forest fans don't even want him to go, but they're like, unfortunately, the players are not playing for you anymore.
I can't lie. They've been they've been sneakily like dropping points week after
I
week.
think it's one win in the last 11.
It's
but
bad.
That's nuts.
honestly,
Go on. It was just
don't get hasty. And I saw, was it the chairman? He left Craven Cottage early and he slung his pass or whatever into one of the neighbours or whatever. Some fan picked it up. But I'm like, I can tell he's an owner who's, listen, he's put a lot of money in.
He's emotional,
He's got this club back to the Premier League. And as anybody who spends money, they want to see some return on their investment and see their team. The Premier League is not that easy. I think Nottingham Forest need to establish themselves as a Premier League club. They're back now. This is the second season. We always see second season syndrome. This season, there's significantly 3 worst teams in the Premier League. You're almost guaranteed safety. I feel like, I'm not saying right off year, but Steve Cooper got you here. He is. We've just seen Sheffield United now go back to Chris Wilder after going into the wilderness of the Championship, coming back or whatever. This guy has built this club up to where it is. Give him time, bro, for me. And I think last season was a sign of that. I remember when they were going through one of the worst patches of run, they gave him a new contract.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, form turned around. Second half of the season, they made a few signings in January. They were flying. We were like, yo, at home, nobody can touch Nottingham Forest. But listen, it's sticky right now. But the way they're 6 points still clear off the bottom, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But every week, that margin gets smaller and smaller, bro.
You think Luton and them are going to all of a sudden start putting win streaks together?
I think
never know.
Luton Nation. Luton Nation, we smell blood.
I think it's not about them
I've grown a
panicking,
liking to
though.
Steve Cooper, I'll be honest with you. And I think it's almost like, you know, when a manager becomes synonymous with a club. I feel like nowadays we don't have that with many managers and clubs, if you like.
And
Keep
Fuad
that
went
same
soft, bro.
Hey,
Fuad,
I know.
Real
Fuad
man.
went
Hey,
soft.
He's never let this, man.
Stevie Coops is real men. Don't get it twisted.
Hype,
Hey.
bro. What makes Steve
Listen.
Cooper real men?
He's smoking blood.
I knew. It's because he looks nice shit on the sideline. I knew it, bro.
These guys look crazy.
Hey, after the game, they already asked him, what did you feel of that performance? Oh, we played?
Yeah.
We played?
You're nuts.
Hey.
Who was my man that coached
Nah,
Villa
nah.
a few years ago with Grealish?
Dean Smith.
Dean Smith, they were saying the same thing about him. He
Nah,
built
nah,
this
nah, nah,
club
nah,
back
nah,
up.
nah.
Yes.
But even so, Dean
Built
Smith,
them up,
Dean
kept them
Smith
in the league.
Got that time.
Yeah.
Got that time. And he actually was almost crashing them out of the league. And that's when he got sacked. For them, they're not crashing out just yet.
They got injuries, man.
But listen, the Nottingham Forest fans were fuming as well, man. You see Kouyaté was giggling with Iwobi at full time, and after they just got pumped 5-0. Bro, the players is not playing for Steve Cooper anymore. I don't know what it is, but...
The problem is, look at that squad. It's a 40-man squad of a mishmash that's been signed over how
it's
many
an NFL
windows.
squad, man.
They're never really going to be Stevie Coops guys, but I think he's done enough
Stevie
to
Coops hype, man.
I think he's done enough
gotta
to
go.
earn the grace period, if that makes sense. I don't think it's panic stations just yet, in my opinion. I think
Is it,
they're in a
but you
bad
said that
state of
earlier,
form.
but then there's 6 points above the... But Nottingham Forest fans will go into this season expecting a little bit more
Definitely.
progression. But
How
if
far
you're
away-
battling
how far away
relegation...
are they from 11th?
let me check for you, brother.
I don't think that's the question you should be asking.
So what,
But this is what I'm saying.
I would
It's-
ask how
what
far
I'm
away from
saying
the
is-
11th 6 weeks ago.
Is
Like,
how
6
quick-
points.
6 points either way then. So you're
No,
telling
actually,
me...
they're 4 points away from the relegation zone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's calm. Calm. That's still what? They can afford to lose and still be 1 point ahead. Calm.
I don't think so, man.
They got Wolves away next as well. Gary O'Neill, man.
6 pointer. This is what I'm saying. These are the types of games where you look at the team and
they
you're
got you.
"Alright, yeah, man, I'll win that one.
I was trying to be dramatic, sorry.
No, I look at that Forest side. I would be very scared if I was the owner because look at the amount of money he's invested in that squad, the wages those guys are on. A guy like Sangare, right? By the way, who Forest fans are starting to talk about. Not looking too good over
United
there.
fans wanted him, I remember. at
Not
one
me,
point.
not me. But I just think if a club like that goes down to the championship with that wage bill,
It's gonna be
they're
crazy.
in. You're saying they
They're gonna be in
won't, but
trouble.
that's the worry for them. Bro, they have some expensive players on big wages that came to play in the Premier League. They're not staying to go play in the Championship.
Yeah.
That's very tough. We've seen with QPR in the past. I'm not saying it's the same situation, but and I think Awoni is out for a while, right? I think he's out long
Serious,
term.
and that was the main guy.
That's a big
especially
loss
last
for
season.
them, bro. That's a big loss, bro. Divock in
Not
2023,
that guy, buddy.
heading into 2024.
There was one moment where I saw they played a through ball to him and it came off his heel and he tried to take some shot outside the box. I said,
That's who Milan were
how
relying
many
on.
times
last
have
he
you,
ain't got that
have you
Liverpool
tried that
juice no
shot before?
You work on that
you
shot?
work on that shot?
When, bro?
If you look at
Bro.
this, if you
You
look
ain't
at
got
this,
that
if you look at this Forest lineup again, 8 of the first 11 weren't at the club last season. So once again, they're just chopping.
makeshift.
They're just makeshift, man. So it's like, I don't know what's going on this. But listen, credit to Fulham, 5-0. This is what they needed, to be fair, for a while. They needed something
Need
like
to
a
give credit to
third.
that front four, the way they linked up as well. The Willian, Iwobi,
Shout out
Jimenez,
to Iwobi, man.
and the crown jewel of
Shout
the
out
piece,
Iwobi,
bro. No, the crown jewel, AP.
Oh, AP.
Oh, yes.
Andreas
Incredible.
Pereira
Man of the match.
is becoming a
Maybe you might need that on United. You miss him now?
Bro, he's going down in Fulham folklore. I'm telling you.
You don't miss him now? You don't miss him now?
I'm happy for AP,
He would have died
bro.
for that club.
Huh?
He would have died for you, man.
Okay, I would die for this club too. They ain't hired me either, bro. If I die, please show quality.
But he looks a complete different player since going there. Like,
Sometimes it happens.
it's-
Elanga looks like a completely different player at Forest too. That's how it works, bro.
It's crazy.
That
Confidence is
just
like-
wasn't the right environment for
Thank
them.
you.
Maybe that's just the level.
It's
they
not
need
the
to
quite
control.
the right level for them, bro. Like Pereira is Fulham is his level. He's playing great over there. Completely agree.
Fulham now scored 11 goals in the last 3 games, man. But they're 12th in the table, equal goal difference with Wolves. Big result. But listen, where do you see those guys? I think their next game is against Fulham. Wait, Fulham. Oh, Fulham West Ham. Sorry. Fulham West Ham. Yeah, Fulham against Fulham. Fulham against West Ham. London derby.
My biggest worry for them is Paulinho, man.
Fulham will be the top of the bottom half. If that
That's
makes
a good
sense.
shout,
They'll
yes.
be in and around there. I think last season was like an overachievement, if you like, of the band who've been kicked out of the big clubs banding together and one
forming.
last dance.
Now they're just adding on to that with what's his name, Jimenez, Adama. Like, bro, this is the
Adama, I
band.
don't know.
This is the band. What's it
What do you
called?
say? A group
Misfit
of
Toys or whatever.
group of misfits. That's what
Yeah,
you say.
group of
misfits.
misfits. Literally, yeah. So
Island of the
this
Misfit
season,
Toys,
I
that's what they
think
are.
initially how they started, it was looking worrying.
Yeah.
Like, they could be hovering above the relegation zone. But I think with Marco Silva, this is where he shows. Obviously, he's a good coach. Do you know what I mean? And he's kind of
He's also a top goal scorer, so he's trying to make amends. He's clearly trying to find a new system. Tom Kenny had a very good performance as well.
Yeah.
Captain performance.
Decent.
Captain.
Goal
I'm
at the
happy
end.
for Jimenez, man. Honestly, that's the big one for me. Like I think it's been a tough few seasons. We haven't really seen the best of him.
One goal before this. as well,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I hope he can build off
Villa
this, bro.
loss?
Yeah, because Jimenez at Wolves, man. Like, when he was on it, he was top, bro.
Phenomenal.
I honestly was looking at him like you're the best out of outside of the big traditional strikers. You're the best guy in this league, and I hope he can return to that form.
Him and Carlos Vinicius compete for that number 9 spot. But listen, let's move on to the next game. Sheffield United, new manager, but they lost unfortunately 2-0 to Liverpool at home. But listen, before we actually get into the game, did you guys see Klopp's interview after the game? Actually,
Yeah.
he's not trying to take jokes, man.
Yeah,
And I know why he wasn't trying to take jokes, because he just probably found out 5 minutes prior Matip got an ACL. And he's like, you're trying to joke with me about this 12:30 kickoff. I'm not in the mood right now. Not trying to happen right now.
They're just unlucky with injuries, though. Liverpool,
They're
especially the
very
defense.
unlucky with injuries. He just seems to be very prickly. Klopp. I don't know. I've just found him. He doesn't seem to be the kind of jolly, jovial character he was maybe in the first 3 or 4 years, if you like. Maybe the past Premier League's just worn on
Premier
him.
League is hard. Aged him.
I kind of get it, and especially when you've just got the injury news moments ago. Some corporate journals like 12:30 kickoff. and he even said like, I can't say what I want to say because you can. I was like, yeah.
He said, if you understood football, then I would be able to speak to you. I can't, to be fair.
He
And
was
then,
doing
but
his
the
best
bit
to
that
make
made
it
me
awkward after that as well. He was like,
the bit that made me laugh the most is like, oh, listen, good luck with Crystal Palace on Saturday. He's like, yeah. I'm sure you said it to the Crystal Palace man. I love that. I love that. That's just what I love.
he's so petty, man.
But listen, it turned out to be a comfy away win for Liverpool. However, Liverpool fans weren't that enthusiastic with kind of like the performance, even though it was comfy. They were up against the Sheffield United side who haven't been that great this season. They've
coming off
Chris
5-0 against Burnley.
Sheffield
Exactly.
were only really creating their own chances off of like Liverpool's mistakes,
Yes.
if you like kind of McAtee and
He should have
Archer.
scored. They
Yeah,
should have
the two
scored.
bright spots.
Yeah.
I can't lie.
They
And
should have
is that the same McAtee from
From-
City's academy?
Yeah, that's him. I think he's out alone there.
Right, them two might be some life if Wilder
have to
can
have any life,
inject something into them. They'll probably be at the forefront. But Liverpool should have made that
Comfortable. Easy.
out of sight and out of mind a long time ago. I just don't know if they were kind of creating enough, in my opinion, throughout the kind of game. But then kind of the goal comes at the end where you just kind of think, all right, the 2-0 scoreline flatters it a little
It
bit.
does reflect
But
the game.
yeah, I think they...
I still think they were comfy though, to be
They-
honest.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah,
were.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't think
Sheffield United didn't really pose a threat, is what I think it was. But Liverpool also weren't clinical enough, in my opinion. And I just feel like with Darwin, I don't know how
How long did they give them?
prolific they can ever be with him in the lineup. If that makes sense. Like he'll never give you the amount of goals I feel like Jota will give you. Like Jota might not give you the same level of performances that Darwin Núñez. Like Darwin Núñez, I think the way he's the second goal was prime example. Loses the ball kind of on the drive, wins the ball back, plays a nice little cross to Soboslai. You're kind of thinking, this is what we like Darwin for. But then it's like there'll be moments throughout the game where you're just kind of thinking, bro, if we just had a bit more quality here,
And you can put
we would
them
be
away.
such a.
I can't
clearing
lie. I don't
team.
agree. I think I'm starting Darwin over Jota every day of the week. I
think
can't
so?
lie. Yeah, I think
I
Jota
think
might be
but
more
Jota
clinical.
kind of
Jota's more clinical, as in like if he gets those chances, I'd probably bet on him to score more likely.
Yeah.
But I just think he doesn't get as many chances as Nunez,
would.
and I think that's because of Darwin's movement and stuff like that. I think the one that you have to talk about, and it's gonna hurt me to say it
Salah.
because I like no, it's not Salah. I like him a lot.
Yes.
It's Diaz. Bro.
Diaz.
I think Diaz the last few weeks has, and I don't want to like he was going through a period. We know what was going on in his life, but I think, bro, like this season he started off pretty well,
Yeah,
but I
but
think the
he's gotten down.
performances have kind of gone down a bit, bro. To be honest with you, I like him because I always say like he's a maverick, and I like players that like they try and make things happen. But this year, the stuff he's trying to make happen is just not coming off, bro. He's not beating players at the same regularity.
I think
his
his-
creative stats have gone down.
Yeah, his dribble percentage, I think, season by season has actually
It's going
gone
down.
down by like 10%.
And he had a big injury last season, to be fair. But
Yeah.
yeah, like this season hasn't been good enough, bro.
Creatively, he's
That
just
was,
not
that's
putting
always
up
been
the
his
numbers.
outlet for me. My question for him is his final end product. I don't think that's always been up there when I look at Diaz.
I think too when you go from a guy like Mane to a guy like Diaz, there's obviously
it's a
going to
big-
be like
Obviously, yes.
it's going to be a drop off in
used
that
to think
regard.
about Diaz as well, but then I remember last season he hit this kind of patch where you thought, yeah, this guy's got serious end product and he can do it consistently. And there was like good quality goals in there as well. But with him, I think it's just a case of finding that form and just consistently producing it. With Darwin, I just don't know if he's capable of it. That's the thing. It's like genuinely, and I've never been kind of sold really on Darwin, but Liverpool fans, I think this season will be really the season where it's kind of make or break for him, if you like. I know he's still only, 23, 24?
Yeah.
So he's still got time on his side to prove things wrong, but I don't ever think he'll live up to the price tag.
I'm a believer, man. I like Darwin.
I know
honestly.
you've always been.
I've always
And
been,
do you know what? Prototypically, he should
Yeah,
be
he
the
makes
kind of
sense,
player
like,
I
you look at him,
like,
yeah.
physical. He works hard, determination. But
Like the
I
second
always
goal,
think
like you said,
when
yeah.
it comes to the
Don't
number
move,
9
man.
position, you have to have a defining quality in
Yeah.
the attacking position.
The thing with him, you know what it is, right? The one thing I don't like about Darwin Nunez, and I think this is what's hurting him right now, he doesn't have like the ability, like when it's like 1v1 or whatever, to almost like calm himself
So
down.
composure.
He's too frantic.
and in
like,
a
composure.
game like that where it's low block in the opposition's box, you need that kind of little bit of composure. That
yeah,
little bit
you need a little bit of
that
class. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just don't think Sheffield were allowing him to have any of that. But Sheffield can also feel hard done by. I can't lie. The Konate push,
Yeah, I thought that was a foul.
I can't lie. I mean, he just went straight up.
Hey, he's a
On
grown
extension.
man's. What happened to real men? What happened to dogs?
Listen, you do that outside the box. Listen, I'm all for that. And even the Darwin tackle.
I'm saying
I'm all for it. I'm
that's
all
your
for
kind
it.
of defending.
Listen, my kind, yeah. Is it the Premier League? Yeah. Oh, okay. You want to get me in the Premier League now? Yeah. Oh man, put me in.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Come for you.
But listen, first goal, Van Dijk, great assist from Trent. Definitely
Brilliant finish.
Was that a
Definitely
foul
it
even?
is.
Van Dijk.
Nah, soft for me, bro.
Yeah.
I can't
But the
lie.
Trent assist, man, he really put the ass in assist, man.
He did a star player for us,
Yeah,
man.
he
He
did
gave
a
us
star
a
player
little
for us.
performance, man.
Listen,
He did a
hey,
star
Oh,
player.
brother.
There's a reason why he's there, yeah. He said,
Hey.
if my SDS hermano star player can get his cheeks out.
So can
I respect him, man. He did it on purpose. I think he was mooning the Sheffield United fans.
Bro, I think he did do it on purpose. I can't lie. That was
The angle's too clear.
bro. That was
You know what I love? It's when the commentators start stuttering a little bit. It's like, oh yeah, right now it's Liverpool's first corner. Sheffield United have had zero.
what was he gonna say? It's like, yeah, we don't know. It's Sheffield United. Is that his ass? Like, he's gonna stop
The mic turns off. Is that his ass we're seeing right now?
Nah, but Van Dijk, brilliant volley,
That was a
man. And,
great
bro,
finish.
he's
Great
proven
finish.
himself, honestly, the last few seasons. Like, we talk about like goal scoring center backs. Like, he's kind of made himself probably the premier goal scoring center back off set pieces. Like,
Yeah.
we know he's a threat in the air, but like his ball striking, pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Coming back to
And
his
they
old self,
had a
man.
few opportunities. Salah himself had, like, he would almost scored a wonder goal off a set piece. Brilliant
It's
ball.
kind of
with his
slowed
right.
down on a little bit, Salah, though, when I look at him, though. He's gone more into his assist bag. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
the
I
big
can't-
3-0.
I can't lie. I think, to be honest with you, people are gonna say I'm a Salah hater or whatever. But I think even before the season, like a lot of his goals were penalties, right? Like this is not vintage Salah. Like this is not the best version of Salah you've ever seen. He's having a great season, but like I don't think he's like as for me this is for me like just a good Salah season.
Salah,
Yeah. I've seen a better
I think
version of
what's his
Salah
name
before.
was Konate. Next to
Solid.
was it how many aerial duels did they say he won? I think he won every single one of them.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah, he won.
15 or 16
Yeah.
or something like the duels he competed in. I was like,
He's solid.
yeah, Sheffield tried that long ball against Konate. You man must not be Virgil as well. I'm like, yeah. Long day.
Another player as well, Endo, man. I think Liverpool fans are
Hey?
looking at he should be starting a bit
You know
more, man.
what? Nah. Do you know why? He got so much shit on him when he signed the first couple of weeks. Everybody
Because you know why?
laughed
They
at
were
him.
linked to Caicedo. They were linked to Lavia. Then they hear Endo
See the
come
goal
out.
he scored the other day, brother.
Hey,
Hey, he showed he could do a little something.
Caicedo, please. Is it too much to ask?
Hey, listen.
again of the Chelsea
respect
players. What's going
Endo.
on, man?
Damn, the agenda's strong.
My fault, guys. My fault, guys.
My fault. But listen, Sheffield United, man. What are we saying? That's just Chris Wilder. No chance saving that shit. Sinking ship.
No. I don't think it's. I think Chris Wilder coming back is actually the best thing they could have done. I
think it's the only thing they could have done, probably.
Hey, listen, Heckingbottom height, man. Yeah, rock bottom.
I can't lie.
I think. Listen,
I like that one. I
go
appreciate
back
that
to what made you.
Nah.
Yeah, Wilder is of the Dyche mold.
As soon as McBurney comes back from his suspension,
You gonna ring up McGoldrick? Bring the gang
We got the band in.
Where's Lundstrom these days, man? Get their band back together.
I can't lie. I always say don't go
I
back to
think
your
they're going
ex,
down.
man.
I think they're going down,
Yeah.
Why
but
not?
they're going down with a fight now.
I know, we spinning the block.
You
these days,
broke
man.
up. You broke up for a reason,
Nah,
bro.
man, spin the block
I
season, man.
think he took that one personally. I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
We
He
spin
took
the
that
block
one personally.
season, man. We spin the block season.
But spin the block. You know how that shit's gonna end anyways, bro. Same result, just a little down the future. I
Well,
can't
have
lie.
fun
For
doing
me.
it though,
No,
man.
they're going down, but they're going down with a fight now. That's the thing. Heckingbottom was sad, man.
So still going down.
Your fate is your fate. You can't fight fate.
Like we said, they have a 30 kickoff on Saturday. What are we saying against Crystal Palace away? We're saying Liverpool's gonna nick another one.
Yeah, Liverpool will beat them. I
feel
think the
like-
big one for them is a few. Oh, I mean, they have United soon, and then they have Arsenal is the
Yeah,
big one.
that's
at
the big
Anfield.
test for us.
Crystal Palace could be a sneaky one, but
Nah.
then they just lost.
I don't
that
think so,
whole-
man.
Palace are another
They
one
lost
for
that
me
out
that
to
are kind of.
Bournemouth, was it?
I think Palace when it comes
Table
to
finish.
Burnley, yeah.
I know Bournemouth. You're right, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Bournemouth.
Palace when it comes to big teams, they're like, we'll play against you guys.
But I don't think
against the small teams,
I don't think so at the moment, though, man.
I think Palace are another team similar to Forest that are kind of like like you look at
Creeping
the
down
results,
slowly, yes.
slowly starting to get a little worse.
No Zaha has to save them now, man. So it's
Yeah,
interesting. But
facts.
listen, we have analysis from two Liverpool correspondents. One from Femi. We seem to really lack creativity in the first half. Sheffield United was set up to sit back and catch us in transition, which worked well for Fulham on the weekend. Eventually, we broke through from a great cross from Trent, even though he had his crack out, which VVD struck in. It felt like the goal was coming as Spozzo and McAllister were allowed more space in between the lines, with Endo dropping deep to protect the back four. Late goal from Sosbo finished the game off for us. Not the best of performances, but solidity at the back helped us in keeping the clean sheet. An analysis by Alex Tech, he said good 3 points and a clean sheet, but a relatively poor performance from the Reds. Front three was again poor and uninspired. Left ourselves open at the back and were lucky that the opposition didn't have more quality in the final third. Not too many to take away otherwise, other than we must improve and tighten up on another day that could have been a bit of a banana peel. Nunes' assist is exactly why we love him. Instead of moping around after losing the ball, he chases down his man, wins it back and sets it up for Sabozlai, who coolly ends the game.
I like Nunez, but I'm a fan.
I don't know. You don't see him. Man.
But listen, let's go on to the next game. We're going to go...
get goals.
Yeah.
He will get goals. I just don't ever think he will be. You know what I mean?
I know. I think I
Premier
killer.
striker,
You know
that
he's a
killer.
killer,
Yeah, I think he will always have a use, if that makes sense. Like a squad will always be able to use a player like Nunes. But is he going to be the guy who Liverpool hang their season on?
No.
No, I don't know if I agree, but I hear it.
Yeah. Hold on. I don't agree.
I hear it. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I think it's valid.
Let's go to the next game. Brighton against Brentford. Brighton a 2-1 win against Brentford. Listen, they're back to winning ways. They lost against Chelsea on the weekend. They managed to win this
They've
game.
been shaky the last few weeks.
They have, man. There's been a lot of rotation, but a lot of Brighton fans.
Was that what, three wins from 5?
Yes, 1, 2. Oh, in all competitions or just the league?
Oh, this is all competitions. Okay.
Oh,
enough.
free-
I was
free
saying the
from
league. I'm pretty sure it wasn't that great, but okay. Yeah.
But I think the Brighton fans were kind of saying, listen, they'll get onto Faisal a little bit because Faisal's like, there's a lot of rotation that De Zerbi keeps doing, but they're like, the reason the rotations is happening is because they're injuries.
Yeah.
Like Brighton, Brentford, and like I said, Newcastle are suffering a lot from injuries this season, and
Europe.
Newcastle have better depth. And then in Europe, and they managed to secure
Secure
their
it, yeah.
exactly, and it's their first season in Europe. They managed to qualify while maintaining their place, like still competing within the Europa League spot. So fair play to Brighton. Like I said, they went 1-0 up through Pascal Gross. Oh wait, no, sorry.
Oh,
And
yeah, Mbeumo scored
Mbeumo
first,
scored,
yeah.
sorry, first penalty, but then Gross got equalized.
Good goal from.
I actually wanted to ask
Where was he
you.
playing?
He's playing left back.
Interesting. I remember when
Oh,
I put
we
him
did.
You did right back. You did right back.
Yeah, he's like the opposite to that. They call me crazy though.
Well, you had
See
the
the
time.
goal though?
Yeah,
Crazy.
Good finish.
Yeah,
And
man.
then the second goal, who assisted it? hey. But they say Pascal Gross only plays up until October.
Sometimes the old man got some bars. I can't even know.
You know what I'm saying?
He's a wise man.
He's seen a lot of football.
No, but
He watched Pascal Gross in Germany.
Oh yeah, man.
how did you know that, bro? Who told you?
but listen, Mbeumo went one up for Mbeumo, but he went off injured in the first half. What are you saying for the FPLs? You guys all subbing him off? Who has Mbeumo?
Never had that guy, man.
You never had him?
Who is he as him?
Of course he has him, man.
It's up to Ilias, man, but that's a big loss.
But shout out to his teammate Wissam, man. He tried to do his best. But
Can you please rise?
yeah, please,
What do you
right.
mean? I'm doing it alone now,
He's
man.
not good when he came on, man.
I'm doing it alone now.
Not good.
He's no Wissam, man.
You can see they're missing Tony badly.
You mean you're missing Tony badly?
Me, him, we are missing him, man.
They are, man.
No, that's the thing, because the way he's, nice game, Deckers.
You don't like that.
We know what you're
You don't
doing
like
here,
that
bro.
shit.
We saw Mudryk do this.
Mushrik. It's crazy. Wow.
He says it so much that it's part of his vocab now. You can never go back. We mentioned Mudryk in the first game. That's what you didn't say.
Mushrik.
I forgot what I was saying.
But listen, Brighton have scored and conceded in all 15 Premier League games so far this season, man. Like, that's not a great stat. Like, and also, Matoma has now been directly involved in more Premier League goals than any other Japanese player in the competition's history. But yeah,
Look him up, man.
And also Hinshelwood, academy player, scoring the winner. I think that's his first goal as well. 4th generation apparently as well. So big him up, man.
number 41.
Yeah, I think that's his first start at home as well.
Oh, is it?
mistaken.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah.
Fair play to them.
Big ups to
Listen,
him, bro.
yeah, man. Like, listen, Brighton back to winning ways, but they need to stop conceding. They've got Burnley next. I've got prediction that I think Brighton, obviously the Brighton will win, but I think they're going to concede again in this game, man. It's going to be like a 3-1 win, but their defense needs to be shored up
Keep
very
those
quickly.
predictions to Faisal's videos.
I did. It's coming out tomorrow. Coming out tomorrow.
Justin, you can do quick promo. That shit, bro.
That's not.
Keep that shit over on Alfie's channel, bro. This is SDS.
Come on, man. You appeared on that channel. Huh? Have you appeared on that channel?
Nah, you don't. I was on a live stream actually.
You ain't got me on that channel yet. I wonder why.
Why? Oh my god.
Hey, we're watching you, Hazel.
Don't that, no.
What's star player then? Yeah? What's star player? What's star player?
He ain't part of us, man.
Star player is you're sure. But listen, I'll keep my prediction to myself then. Okay, how about that? Brentford have got Sheffield United away next. What about that game for Brentford? You see Chris Wilder doing anything in that game? Because Brentford are like a topsy-turvy team.
That might be a game to get him at. With Wissa, no Tony, no Mbeumo. Go on.
Go on,
Go
have
on,
it.
make a game of it.
Have it.
Red and white v red and white. Who's going to wear their away kit?
Probably the away team.
This guy. Where did you get this guy from? Where did you get this guy from?
Hey, listen, it's been a long day. I'm tired.
Hi. That's the kind of analysis you can get on SDS. Red and white versus red and white. Who's gonna wear their away kit?
Guys, if you haven't subscribed already for this kind of analysis, please subscribe.
This is what Sharky was talking about when he said SDS isn't where I wanted to be.
Well, he's the reason.
He tweeted because he was on Discord with you, and he's like, you know what? We're in the mud right now.
Oh, man, I'm dead.
That's gotta be like end of the year content.
I'm working on the end of year funniest comps moments, by the way, for this year, so don't worry. Submit it over to me as well. Tweet over to me. What do you think the funniest moments of this year has been? But we got analysis from both teams. Who do you want to hear from first, Brighton or Brentford fan?
Give me
Brighton. I always like field tilt.
You like Phil?
I always like hearing field
Let me hear
tilt.
from that. This isn't crazy.
He's going to say no.
Talk about the field tilt, bro.
The field tilt was majorly dominated by Brighton throughout the game. But Brighton were able to have chances. Igor had a fantastic game at centre-back today and was able to help the team in the build-up by providing solidity at the back. Another win is a big positive, especially against an opponent of Brentford's calibre. People are writing Brighton off this season, but remember, there's only 2 points between them and that 5th spot. At the time of writing, at least. Pascal Gross is Mr. Consistent, and he showed it again today with a superb performance. He dictates the forward play with his vision to play great ball and the ability to score himself. All this while playing at left back too. He reminds me of Fuad Kadani.
Hey,
What?
big him up.
Say that again?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I knew you did. Big him up.
Fucking dirty high. I see no resemblance there.
And then we have analysis from Keenan Lowe, a Brentford fan. He said, nightmare result for the Bees. Losing away to Brighton isn't the worst result by itself, but losing Mbuemo until basically after AFCON would be devastating. Brentford have been one of the unluckiest teams in the league this season when it comes to injuries. The amount of injuries to key players they have had is overwhelming. I generally don't know where the goals are going to come from at this point. At this point, it's panic stations for the Bees. They have done a good job so far of picking up points, but every result they get from now until probably February will be incredibly valuable. That is more than enough time for the bottom of the table to close the gap, especially with the congested schedule. And like I said, another team that you said might be floating around there, Palace lost 2-0 at home to Bournemouth. Areola ball up again. 13 points in his last 18 points. 18. What are we saying there, Viriola?
It's about
Another
damn
apology.
Time.
Another
it's about
apology.
damn time, bro. I mean, what?
me.
Do your job, right?
Please
do we applaud the mailman for delivering the mail? Coach, please. That's all I said. I'm glad that he's
But do
finally
you not
doing his
think
job.
Bournemouth had a very tough opening set of fixtures going into this?
Everyone plays
Everyone
the same
did-
teams in the league, bro.
Facts.
Damn, Leeds has got hard.
tough.
What's
It's
going on
tough.
to you? Let's
Because I know Faisal's watching this segment, especially to hear my analysis.
How do you think he's watching this segment right now?
I won. Nah, look, big up Bournemouth, big up Iraola. I always said though, one thing I never said he wasn't a bad coach. I never said he was a bad coach. I believe Faisal's analysis from La Liga, but this whole thing of like, oh, Gary O'Neill. Please show me. And to be fair, right now he's doing a good job. So.
Do you actually believe the phase of La Liga? Are you sure it wasn't Real Madrid versus Rayo Vallecano?
Yeah, you watched them one time, Vallecano popped him off.
What about
the park.
Barcelona Rayo Vallecano? You probably watched that
Yeah,
one.
you probably watched that one as well.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
his
I like
name?
it as well.
Christie looks really good for
Hey,
them
man.
as well.
Yeah,
Did
yeah,
they
yeah.
sign him from Celtic? Was it? I don't even know where they signed him
I
from,
think
but
around there. I think so.
I remember he was playing like further forward for them, like earlier in the season and even last year. And then now they've kind of dropped him a little bit deeper. Yesterday, he was the one. When I saw the highlights, I was like, bro, he is pulling the string. So fair play to him.
Just don't ask Faisal where he plays.
But Palace though.
Huh?
Just don't ask Faisal where he plays.
But listen, what were we saying? Roy Hodgson, man. What were we saying
Wow,
with
but
him,
you
man?
see Palace
This
going
is
forward. They just miss so much though.
this is
Get
the
this guy outta
trajectory
here,
though we kind of expected for Palace, wasn't it? It was like he comes in last season, does the firefighting,
But why is he still here then?
steadies the shit.
That's what
They
he
don't
does,
have
though.
the
No one
plan
else.
after this. That's the thing. They tried with Vieira. They saw how it went, and they were like, you know what? We're happy with our kind of steady Eddie. And this is the situation you're going to kind of leave yourselves in. And I think he even said it after the game, like, little old Bournemouth, we probably thought we were going to beat them, but Bournemouth turned to be quite good. I was like,
I've heard that line like 50,000 times, bro.
come on, man. Like, you really didn't expect that.
Uh,
So, for me, at home, you shouldn't be losing. And I think the thing you touched on there, I've said it many a times.
Forward is
Their front line and goals, it's not a sentence that goes together very often.
It's
so
hard.
every once in a while, Eduardo will do I'll score a
I
double
feel
here
like
and
this season
there.
he scored more goals.
IU, the past couple of weeks, has been on his little purple patch, and people have been at me on the timeline. I'm like, bro,
That's him, man.
the time will come, trust me, and it's when you need them. So I think
And
this is Crystal Palace old face kind of rearing his
Eze
head.
not being there. I
Eze
think.
injured now as well.
Zaha not saving him.
Yeah.
Is he injured again? No,
He's
that's-
injured again. Why do you keep saying Zaha? He's not been there for how long, bro?
No. But I'm saying now Zaha's got nobody to
But
save him now.
Olise is back
but
though.
Olise is back.
Olise is back. So
He
he,
looked
he's
so frustrated though in that game though. 'cause
You don't want to
couldn't-
be there.
He
bro.
don't want to be there, bro.
Yeah.
He signed the new deal
I think
purely
that's just
to
his
get the
person.
money.
I think that's just the way he looks. I just don't think.
I know the moody thing is the new cool thing. It's like, yeah.
One word.
Be yourself,
I'm
man.
misunderstood. I'm Michael Olise.
Who went through a phase like that?
Yeah, that's it.
Can't you see the hair transition? Everything they look the same, bro.
The way you did that was too natural,
perfect,
bro.
bro.
I
That's
can't let
it,
you
bro.
practice that
This
before,
is
bro.
mysterious over here, man. But you're not buying the act, basically. That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Nah.
But it's a Palace up against Liverpool. Like you said,
I'm
they should be
bored
winning
of
the
Roy
home games.
Hodgson, man. I'm bored.
Yeah.
I'm very bored. On a scale of 1 to 10.
They won't sack him until it's like
It's bad.
it's bad. That's what I think.
He didn't make an attacking sub until the 86th minute.
Then who's he gonna? They ain't got no one. They ain't got no one. Who's that?
Yo, be adventurous and go high. Oh, you're talking about up front. I'm talking about
What about
Yeah.
Amanda or Franca?
The
Brazilian guy.
lack of use of Franca has been funny because
They bought like a ball, but it's very better than him.
he was meant to be. He was hyped as like, oh yeah, he's gonna be a sick one. And I was like, okay.
You trust
He's
those
been
kinds
on
of
the
players
bench.
under Roy Hodgson?
How do you
Honestly,
say it?
move away from him, bro. Honestly, like
Well, who would you get though?
be adventurous and go hire a young. Like, honestly, as much shit I was talking about Iraola, mostly of that was because of Faisal. But I respect what Bournemouth are doing in terms of going and finding a young manager that they can grow with and like find a project and try and move with the times. Right, we're in 2024 and we're playing Roy Hodgson ball. Come on, man. Okay, VR didn't work. That doesn't mean you go back to the old. For me, that kind of stuff is
I
boring,
think
man.
Palace fans are looking at the Ipswich town manager to kind of come over and save them.
I'm not familiar,
McKenna.
but... Oh,
Yeah,
McKenna.
McKenna.
Is McKenna's their... Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. McKenna plays good football. Carrick. I think you started struggling first half of the season with... I completely forgot McKenna was at Ipswich. He did really well for them last season. I don't know how he's doing this year.
So we're going to say go to the correspondence. We have Dan, who's a Bournemouth fan. He said another dominant display from us, especially from our centre-backs. That's Senesi and Zabani, sorry. Thank you, brother. Best game as a duo. Defending on the front foot, making perfect passes through the lines, and a goal from Senesi to top it off. Ryan Christie might as well legally change his name to Iniesta at this point. This guy is a machine in the 8. And tell Faisal to get in touch. I saw my ticket down here at Dean Court.
Hey.
Don't
I
kill
want a
me,
ticket.
man.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do
He
that.
was irreolable. That makes sense. He picked Faisal.
Do you know the worst thing is Faisal probably won't even go.
Facts. He's not
Faisal
real.
won't even go.
Yeah,
Faisal's an elitist. This is a Real Madrid and Lake fan. You think he's going to go Bournemouth?
Yeah, shoot, man.
Come on, man. You lot fall for his La Liga gimmick. Subscribe to YouTube.
I won.
You guys make him out to be like a goblin.
Every week I make him sound worse.
The last one.
That was crazy. The pitch went high.
Every week his voice gets more like nasally and shit.
I'm going to turn him into Gollum by the end of the season. My pressure. Oh, so funny, yeah. Faisal cooks me when I'm not here and he's on the pod. So you're cooking him? I cook him. I know he's watching this like,
I don't even know, bro.
Hey, he sounds like Borat, bro.
Oh, that's comedy gold right there.
You can't see crying, bro.
That was incredible. I won. That hit me. But we have analysis from Austin CPFC. You know what his first line is? His head's gone past Mars.
damn.
Roy Hodgson tells Amazon, the fans have been spoiled here in recent times. Spoiled? We've made no progress in 10 years and have 4 wins since October 2022. He still thinks rationing is around if he thinks we're spoiled.
I like this guy. We need him.
He's spitting, bro.
I can't see how Roy continues from here, and I don't want him anywhere near the club again. 2 wins in 12, 1 home win all season, and 1 point from Everton, Luton, West Ham, and Bournemouth is sackable form.
And the thing is, it's not even just the results. The performances are boring,
shocking,
bro.
shocking.
Honestly.
He said, awful result, been terrible at home all season, and results and performances have not been anywhere near good enough for some considerable time. Our approach is failing, and we simply will never change. We cannot change with the current manager. And he wanted to ask a question at the table. Who do you guys think should replace Roy, as hopefully he'll be sacked ASAP? Personally, would want Kieran McKenna, but seems unrealistic.
Shall I give you a shout? Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Van Nistelrooy to Palace. I think
That doesn't sound right.
With all due respect to Palace, I think Van
Guys, what's
Nistelrooy
his
can
name?
aim a little
Pensioner,
higher.
man.
That doesn't sound right.
Nah, I think Van Nistelrooy can aim a little higher, in my opinion.
Palace. Premier League. Come on, rewrite Frank de Boer's
How about
wrong.
Steve Cooper goes to Palace? Steve Cooper goes to Palace.
Nah, stay at Forest.
Stevie Coops.
Yeah.
Shit.
But listen, let's go on to the last game. A Wolves 1-0 win against Burnley. Listen, both teams were architects of their own demise in the first half. But listen, Burnley weren't able to take advantage of Wolves' mistake. Wolves were able to take advantage of Burnley's mistake. Hwang Hee-chan once again.
Brought him an FPL this week.
No, thanks.
Cunha.
That's
That's
smart.
Cunha. If it's Cunha's doing that,
You got an assist, I think.
yeah, he did. It's a little duo they got there, man. I like it.
But listen, Wolves go up to 13th with 18 points. They're only, they're 2 points ahead of Bournemouth. Gary O'Neill's doing, do you see?
That's what we do.
That is exactly
Gary
what we
O'Neill
do.
Nation.
That's going to be your
I hate that
whole
nation.
season. It's going to be Gary Iraola.
Gary O'Neill and Luton.
I don't think they ever expected to have the big rivalry on SDS. I know it's like,
facts.
what's going on here?
This is just a subsection of me and Faisal's beef, bro.
It's another mastermind. What's going on? What's the score again? 4-1, 5-1?
Yeah, Wolves is ahead of them.
5-1? 6-1? 7-1? But Burnley, 19th, 7 points. They did batter Sheffield United 5-0, but they've come back with this one and they lost 1-0 here again. And it's come back to losing ways for them. And now they've got, who did they have away? I mentioned it earlier. They have Brighton away. Two teams that actually play similar brand of football, so actually that might be a good match to watch. To be fair,
Man, company ain't got the
Similar brands of football. One just does it way better than the other.
one has the quality
Well,
of
Burnley
players.
plays similar style of football to City too. I mean, if you want to go off that,
I mean, one has a better quality of players. To be fair,
has a
but
better
listen.
manager too.
Fair enough. Though Gary O'Neill, though, he's done well. He's up against Forest next game, so that's gonna be an interesting one. He might put the nail in the coffin for Steve Cooper.
Big up Wolves, anyways, right? Because I think the last few games they've been a bit unlucky with the refereeing decisions. Like I think last game in particular, Gary, he was upset. Yeah, no, honestly, I think all season they've been
United, man.
And look, all joking aside, right? I think he's done an exceptionally good job at Wolves because I had Wolves going down, and I think they look far from it. Like they're playing good football. They're missing Neto for large parts of this as well too. So yeah, big up the Wolves, man. Honestly, good season so far.
Yeah, good season for, like I said,
And Hwang, honestly, in the form that he's in at the moment,
picked up after Pedro Neto went down. And listen, when Pedro Neto comes back up,
I think at home too, Hwang is showing like he's
that's him there.
Yeah.
And then
Even
away.
Cunha has a good shot as well
Away,
too. He
he's
was
doing
someone I
his thing
always
there.
liked. He was someone I always liked because he was linked with United for a small period when Ranić was here. And like, okay, he's not like this world class attacker, but he's a lot better than I think people were giving credit for.
Finishing up.
Yeah. Honestly, he's like a B-Tech Gabriel Jesus.
fair play.
I like him.
We had analysis from
Yeah.
we had analysis from Probably Not Send Wolves fan. He said Wolves dominated this game, but were fortunate to get the goal. We got off a defensive mistake from Burnley with Hwang Hee-chan scoring his 8th goal in 15 appearances with a composed finish in front of goal. Another player I want to give a lot of respect to is Matheus Cunha.
There you
with-
hey, look, we
Look at
got
that.
you. We got you.
who has been integral to our success in our attack this season with a goal contribution in the last 4 games and a relentless presser who fights for the team. Overall, a well-deserved 3 points, which is great. It steers us further away from the relegation zone, which many people thought we would be in at the start of the season. It's becoming clear that we're becoming very comfortable when we play at home, which is great to see. Listen, Probably Not Send.
Yo, I feel like me and you just literally just.
Wavelength from
Yeah, we
I
got
like
you, bro.
that, man. I
Wolves
like
Nation,
that.
we got it.
If I hear one more, nation, I
One more
swear.
nation, I'm burning down this world.
burning down the studio, man. But listen, shout out to all the teams in the Premier League roundup. We're gonna now move on to the FPL. Let's see who's the highest ranked individual on this table.
Playing them childish games.
Yeah, I'm coming up.
At your big ages.
So the highest placed on this table is actually Elias, who's in 7th, and Hasib is at 8th.
Oh, Maguire is Maguire subbed in yet?
Let me see.
I got my Maguire points yet.
Oh, you at the
He did
bar.
5
47
points.
points. I'm coming.
You at the bar.
Pause. I'm coming.
Sign
Yeah,
in.
fast forward than that. Yeah.
What does that say?
Sign in.
Sign in. Wow, I don't play FPL.
Bro, I have
Oh my
I lost my
God, don't play
password
FPL.
2 months ago and I have not been able to lock in.
You're
So,
such a pensioner. Just
if I was
forgot password
Madison
and
is
then
still in my
you
team.
come on, man.
Bro, I put it on my phone as well, but
he
my
used
phone
to
forgot
text
it. And if my phone forgets it,
So guys, D-Generation Fuad
do
Kadani.
you remember all your passwords?
Yeah.
For FPL, yeah.
Why'd you click forget
Now I
password?
know you got one password for everything.
But listen, D-Generation F Fuad is bottom of the table. Where's Rinedy? Rinedy's 10th. So listen, you're climbing back up because you had to.
Brother, the
Yes,
start of the
this
You know
season,
what?
that was in the mud. What
That's a
In life,
horrible one.
they say you have to stay grounded.
are you talking about, man? Ground 4.
Stay
FPL?
true to your soil.
Let's
That me and Kobe Bryant.
throw some random quotes.
You don't want to get this is old man wisdom. You don't get this in a few years, don't worry.
Who would like to shout out the top 10 of the FPL SDS League? Oh, there you go.
You don't play FPL, bro. You don't get to read out the names.
Thought I'd at least do something, make myself useful.
Should we start at 1 or at number 10?
Number 1, please.
At number 1, we have Free Palestine.
3, I like that. That's why I stopped.
Donal
Mashallah.
Mac, I don't know how to say her name, excuse me. But Free Palestine at number 1. Number 2, Sterling Duel. At number 3, Shiver Me Timbers. At number 4, Bloom. Number 5, Barbers Ballers. At number 6, White Rice Only. Tied at 6 as well is Alice in Wonderland. 8 is Iron Tank FC. 9 is Sherm Squad. And 10 is Mac, Alistair, and Cheese.
No, there's some good.
Wait, I
names.
think I saw. I think number first it has 1,000 points. They finally heard it.
1,000 points.
Yeah,
It's a
1,003.
week, by the way.
Who's the
from
first
them, too.
person to hit 1,000 points?
The name is Free Palestine. Donal Makada Boy.
And he didn't have a great week, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he had 27
Yeah,
points
that's
as
not
well.
a great week, but fair
1,000
enough.
points is crazy.
And you had Cole Palmer on the bench who had 8 points. But listen,
Facts. Come outside, bro. I'll take you.
touch grass, man. But listen, I'm joking. Shout out to everyone in the SDS League FPL. Like I said, we're still a cash prize of £500. Make sure Fuwizi doesn't win that, please.
So,
Wait, hold on. Whoa. There's cash prize involved in this. You know I didn't say this.
Oh, now you want to be involved.
Wait, you didn't announce this?
I didn't know.
You got me.
It's like for the main league, like with everyone involved.
Oh, okay, not for our thing.
No. Arting is £2,000 and Liers will give you. Listen.
SDS, thanks for joining us another week.
SDS, thank you for joining us for another week. Shout out next week. I like your outro. Listen, next week you'll see Sharky back on your screen again for the next PL Roundup. Goodbye.